Hey, what's going on, y'all? Just before the episode starts, just want to address the fact that we do know the audio quality on this one's a bit wonky. It's the first time we've recorded a podcast over Skype because Josh isn't readily available to come over to record every episode because he does live far from where I do. But again, just want to let you guys know we are aware of the audio. Please enjoy as best as you can, and we'll try to get that fixed for you on the next one. Let's get started. Exactly. So Josh is blah blah, and then we'll go, and it's 3, 2. Okay, so hearing that ringtone was a thing. I haven't used Skype in like a million years, so apparently when you call someone, there's a rave that happens at the beginning of the podcast. I mean, the podcast, the Skype. This is going to go well. Welcome to episode 16. I think, yes, 16, at the beginning of what I'm going to consider season 2. Not saying that these hosts will only last 15 episodes, but just in case. Welcome to season 2.
You hear that, Josh? We have a countdown going with us.
This is the thing. Josh, can you hear us pretty well? We can hear you pretty well.
Yeah, no, I hear y'all fine.
Okay, good. Let's see. So, okay, yes, Josh and Mallory are the new hosts. That's the thing. No more John. John is rest in peace. He had his commitments, and to be honest, one of the main things, other than the fact that he's going to start his military training and everything like that, he just wasn't feeling it. Josh has been one of my closest friends on and off for a really long time, but off for the wrong reasons, because what would happen is anytime John's having a crisis, he would just, he just runs away. He just disappears out of my life. So this time I told him, I said, look, you did that twice already. Let's just talk, bro. I'm not going to get mad. What am I going to do? No, you have to stay in the project. Not that was always why he left, but I always felt like that also didn't make it easy for him to, so he'd rather just stonewall me than, whatever. But anyways, but I do appreciate the fact that he was really he goes, I'm also not really feeling it because I don't really gain much. And because of that, I don't really admittedly care about the industry news in an industry that I'm not related to whatsoever anymore. And he goes, it's fun bullshitting, but if I'm not passionate about it, and I said, that's perfectly fine. I said, I don't, in a not dickish way, I don't want you to be in it either if you are passionate about it. If I stop feeling it, I'll stop doing it. I just find it interesting, so, it's kind of the shit I go in. I mean, I really don't play games as much as I used to, but I'm still interested in what goes on and with the games I do play. So there's that. So a little bit of explanation for those who didn't watch the casting couch video that I did.
Oh no!
That. So introducing one of the new guests first, Mr. Josh. Anything this week that you want to talk about in your last 7 days?
Oh man,
this
has just been I haven't really done much in my personal life this past 7 days, just because work has been so hectic for me.
I'm awkward to get my but keep going.
Oh yeah, no, y'all cut it out for some weird reason. But
it's not weird when I walk away to get my drink.
It's not just silence.
It's not just silence, and they're like, "Hold on while I get my drink." Oh shit, I'm really close to the mic. That's gonna sound bad. But anyways,
get your diet Dr. Kelp.
My diet Dr. Kelp. I know my sugar-free Red Bulls. Pat and I have ascended to old mandom and don't do regular energy drinks anymore. Do sugar-free. Well, actually, no, we've been doing sugar-free for a while. That's a lie. But anyway, so not much because of personal life being personal life. Do you, real quick, I know we're going to plug later, but do you have a fixed schedule for videos or streams now? That you want to mention?
Currently, I don't have a fixed schedule. I put out videos when I can. I'm trying. Trying to at least get one out a month. Lately, I've kind of been just putting up some BS videos, or maybe some, if I'm playing Mortal Kombat or something, I might just put in a match that I found kind of funny. Recently,
I wait by for a while, so I feel you on that.
Yeah. Recently, I have been doing some TCG videos, which mixed
openings or matches or.
I've done a few pack opening videos. I've done a few. Most of them have been for the Transformers TCG. I've done deck profiles for that. Oh, sorry?
Oh, I said, how's that been going for you? Do you actually play it too, or just collect?
So I've been playing.
Oh, cool. Is it pretty in depth, or one of those more casual ones?
It's very simplistic. Like it's very easy to pick up.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, but it does have some ridiculous shit though. There was actually an infinite turn deck that had to be yeah, it had to be addressed a few months ago.
Okay, well, there's that. Man, TCGs is just that's one thing I've always wanted to like get into, but like it's expensive. And also time.
Yeah.
Very time consuming.
But
it is.
I've always found them cool though.
Yeah, they're fun.
Everyone I know played Pokemon cards super wrong when we were in middle school.
Oh, dude, like imagine.
What are energies? Fuck this card. Throw that away. I don't want 1,000 Pikachus in my deck.
Dude, Playground Yu-Gi-Oh! That's like the worst.
Was it really?
I
played Yu-Gi-Oh! For like 2 weeks, so like I don't know. Any like please enlighten me a little bit if you have any like examples of how fucked that was.
Yeah. Oh, like summoning Dark Magician and like Blue Eyes White Dragon without needing to sacrifice tributes, and then going by the fucking like how the cartoon would work, like oh I got Winged Dragon of Ra. You
guys wear a weird metal sleeve and then scream about what turn you were doing?
I wish.
I'm gonna turn off the fan because I'll tell you what, the fan is my worst enemy. If I'm streaming, the PlayStation's basic fan is the worst, and then my ceiling fan is just, it sounds like I'm being abducted the entire time, so I always have to remember to turn that shit off.
Are
so
you
the
one of those people
first 5
storming?
minutes are going to sound awful, so it's going to get hot in here, just so you know,
Okay.
not in an awkward way.
I mean, it already is.
I know, I need to get myself like a new tower fan, but I'm just thinking like, oh, if I want to record anything, I can't have it on.
Yeah, exactly, it sucks, and you get really hot, like,
yeah.
And I stream, my rat's nest of cables is coming through one end, and then the mic's like in my face, and then I have to like sit up in my area because I don't want to like arch my back. I always throw on my back because I don't take care of my posture. So I basically, for the last 3 years, have thrown out my back majorly once a year. Is like just because it's so fucked up. So I need to start doing them core exercises and not actually doing a thing where like I'm doing a reverse C with my spine and all sorts of dumb shit just because I want to, because it's comfortable at the moment, but it's actually fucking my body up in the long term. But that's a far ways from Yu-Gi-Oh. So so street Yu-Gi-Oh. So Yu-Gi-Oh in the street was definitely very, very, like, it was a dark time. Probably a bunch of cheaters.
Yeah.
Totes.
I used to play. When did Pokemon was 99, right? But
it's about a little bit before that, but yeah.
6. But it hit the States what? When did it majorly hit here? It was 99. Did I say 99 because that's when it got popular here?
I think so.
Yeah, I want to say it was around 97, 98.
That's around the time it got popular here, right? So,
I believe so.
During that time, I played the Game Boy game, stuff like that, but like what I was doing at the time, because I was a real shit as a kid, was did you guys have that monkey bar dome? Like, was that a thing in all the schools?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I had to take out because
what we would do at my school, and this is what Californians do, is that we liked Power Rangers, and everyone wanted to be the White Ranger or the Green Ranger, depending on what year it was. And not everyone could be. So what we would do is everyone who wanted to be whatever ranger, and we didn't agree, like the Pink Ranger and Yellow Rangers got given away right away. No one wanted that. But what you want to do is we all got on top and just started trying to knock each other off the top of the dome. Like the fucking 10-foot tall dome. And then like the last man that didn't fall and like break an arm was the Green Ranger. And then we actually didn't really play much after that because we were all really tired and hurt. So... but someone won because they got to say that they got to be the Green Ranger. So that's what I was doing.
I wasn't allowed to watch Power Rangers after 2 episodes.
I heard a lot about that too.
I did a kickflip and broke my sister's nose.
There's that.
Almost broke her nose, but it was bleeding, and my parents were like, "Nope, never mind."
Mortal Kombat. Now I never did.
Violent.
Too violent, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because then kids like us actually also made an argument for that. It's like when people do the GTA thing where they go like, "Oh, you stole your mom's car, you're 7, right?" Yeah. Why'd you do it? GTA. And it's just like, oh, come on, bro. Like, the gaming industry doesn't get enough shit. You have to go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got in trouble. For me, it was when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and my brother and I played the hell out of the game, but he always would kill me because I'm still bad at fighting games back then. And I punched him in real life, and I said, "Oh yeah, I can win in real life." And yeah, and so then I got in trouble and I couldn't play Mortal Kombat anymore because that's what I learned from Mortal Kombat is you can just assault people without consequence, or so I thought at the time. So that happened.
Clearly just from Mortal Kombat, not from anything else.
Yes, definitely not. Anyways, so no specific streaming schedule for now, but trying to get or video upload, but you're trying to go. I'm in a similar boat. I'm doing Monday podcast every Monday for sure. The only 2 we missed was when John got the flu, and then one when I threw out my back. So that was you two like extreme things. But every Monday there's that. Wednesday, I'm trying to do either my review series or a mini gameplay series. Once I wrap up Judgment, I have a bunch of clips. Oops, spoilers. Whoops. I just ruined my series.
No, anyways. Spoilers.
So I'm going to start a series, Judgment, and then a mini, I'm going to try to make it fun. Not just be like, it's not a real Let's Play, but we'll do that. Or my review series. So basically, my schedule is Monday podcast all the time, no exceptions. If I do a video, it drops at Wednesday at the same time, 11 a.m. Standard Time. So I'm trying to at least keep it where, like, if he does a video, at least I can look forward to something on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I want to try to keep that a thing. But, man, staying on top of video editing and committing yourself to promise everyone something once a week for video is really hard.
It is.
I guess it's one thing. Like, episode's one thing. That still takes a lot of work to make sure it's all clean. You listen to the whole thing to make sure you didn't do a slur. And then you go through that. That can be a thing, especially when I used to have to scrub through our hour and a half long episodes, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is like fine, and I'm proud of it. And I want people to listen to it, but like I don't want to have to hear it again. I already lived it.
I was there.
Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, so anyways, anything else in your week, sir? Exciting, gaming wise? What's the hotness in the FGC right now? What's your fighting game of choice right now?
So Samurai Showdown did recently come out, but I haven't been putting as much time into that.
The salt piles because of that game.
Yeah.
I hear. Like, Pat loves it, but him and Wooly both admit that it's primarily because, like, you can do some bullshit in that game. As you can in Showdown. Like, that's a thing.
Yeah, no, you can. What else? Mortal Kombat. It's the last week of Combat League, so cool. I was playing some of that. It ends. Yeah, I think. Yeah, after tomorrow it should be over, and then the next season will start.
Do you have the stats?
Nah. I got to like Warrior rank, which is like the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, not much.
Is it more balanced than Lin Kuei versus everyone else? When they were doing the old faction wars in the game.
Oh man, I'm so glad that's
it was such bullshit because no one wants to be in fucking this stupid army corps.
Well, it was weird, like like Lin Kuei always would like win at the beginning, but then as time went on, like
he got more.
It would always be like Black Dragon or the Brotherhood or something.
I just remember at the beginning, just every week was just like, why even tell us? It's good to Lin Kuei. Like,
admittedly, I joined Lin Kuei. Like,
hell yeah, get all the bonuses.
Yeah.
Let this other idiot. I think of all of them, it's fair game and fair enough, but I would say that the worst one was the army one. That's stupid. Sonya Blade's stupid. No, I'm just joking. No.
Sonya Blade's pretty stupid in MK11.
Oh god, she is definitely stupid in MK11. That was so bad. Like, everyone else, I think for the most part, kind of had their. It was always Mortal Kombat's always been varied between decent acting and at least good cheesy. Ronda Rousey is not good.
More like Ronda Lousy.
I mean, she decided to start losing, which is not what a good fighter does. And then she just decided to just throw it all in. I mean, she decided to ruin her career in, like, everything. It's like that's her end goal. Like, Ronda Rousey was just like, all right, you know what? I lost in UFC. Fuck it. I'm going to become a bad wrestler in WWE. I'm going to become a bad voice actor in MK11. I don't even want to know what's next. Like, I'm really scared if she goes the China route in porn. I think that's if her goal is to fail at that, I don't want to know what that means. That'll be scary. But now Ronda Rousey will just go kill me because I'm so easy to find. I use the same handle everywhere, which is linked to my real life name, which is linked to where I live. So yeah, if anyone wants to come get me, they can. We know what happens. Yeah, if I'm ever not here, the podcast got that heated and I went away.
All right.
But okay, all right, that's cool, Miss Josh. Thank you, sir, and Miss Mallory. What's going on with you? Life.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I've been working a lot of overtime, doing what I do. So it's been like nonstop overtime. I even worked on Saturday this week, which left me really tired. But it was also my birthday, so I had 2 birthday parties.
Well, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you. It was a lot, so I don't want to do that again.
Too much birthday. Yeah, birthday overdose.
So much cake. But I mean, I was in heaven because like I love cake.
Good.
So and like I miss meals all the time because I'm busy working and not thinking about things.
Right.
So lots of cake. And then, I got VR for the PS4, which I was really excited about.
I really hate the fact that like a long time ago, my friend wanted to sell his VR. Well, and he did. But he sold it for like $150. I just didn't buy it at the time. I feel like I should have pounced on that.
It is.
VR is expensive.
Yeah, like I remember trying to figure out what I was going to buy. I kind of wanted to buy the Oculus just because I've heard that it's really, really good.
And I think that would have benefited you more if you had the Xbox. Because I know for Xbox, Microsoft just said, fuck making our own and just bought Oculus Rift, basically.
Which I didn't realize that. So now I have the PS4 version, which I play on all different platforms. So I have like my PC, I have my Xbox, I have my PS4, and then I have my Switch. Nice.
That's basically my stuff right now.
Like too. I can switch between all of them. But I also realized how many wires is with the PS4 version, and that it has to have its own processor.
Right.
So like I was ready to like not set it up, and my nephew's like over there. He's like, "You got this." So the whole time, but it's because he wanted to play 5 minutes.
It's only because he wanted to play. Yeah. He had no faith in you, but he was just like,
he's like, "Can you read the instructions?" And I was like, "Kiddo, like you're telling me these." And so like, but they make it super easy to set up because they give you like a little booklet that tells you how to set it up. Okay. So good old and it's all pictures and they have it all labeled like 1s and 2s.
Hell
if
they didn't,
words. I would be so upset. Like I would have just been like, "We're not doing this. Never mind. This was a terrible birthday gift."
That reminds me of the old Wii manual. Where like if you looked in the old instruction manual for the Wii, where they told you had to wear the you should wear the straps with the Wiimote. And one of the pictures is just a kid eating shit from the Wii controller because if you don't wear the strap, you will beat a child with the Wiimote is like in the instruction manual as a picture. So that always stuck with me in inspiration, and that Nintendo acknowledges that child abuse is very rampant in the gaming industry, and we need to stop it. So
we need to look into.
But
yeah, so I mean, it was fun. We played Five Nights at Freddy's, which I will probably never play that game again. Just because
in VR especially. Josh was there when I shit myself playing it at a TV like 30 feet away from me. I gotta say. VR?
I remember.
Yeah,
but he was having a great time because he's he got jump scared and he's just like standing there, and then there's me who got jump scared and I'm like ready to take it all off and throw my controller. I was like, I will break this thing, get it off of me.
There are some people that can take horror a little like they can take it right on the chin. They don't even flinch. I don't know how they do that. Like even if I was trying to like big dick fake it, I would still be like. You would see me flinch, or like I would be like gritting my teeth like really badly. Like I don't know. Josh was better at horror than me, but I know that some things were still a bit.
Like I enjoy horror movies and stuff. Like it's one of my favorite genres. But having it that close to my face, I'm like, okay.
I'd be curious to play. Oh, you know what? But I heard the Until Dawn one is just a fucking like rail shooter though. Rush of Blood, I think it was called.
I heard that too. I downloaded it because it was free, but
right, and I was like, one day when I get my PSVR when it's on PS6 for PS4, I will eventually. No, but yeah, I did also get it when it was free. Good old game. I know people who for me, it has a new hard drive space, right? Because you're allowed to claim the free games and you don't have to download it. Right. So it always blew my mind when I'd be like, oh, dude, did you end up getting Conan Exiles or did you end up getting this one? It was free last month. Nah, I just didn't. And I was just like, but it was free though. You don't ever have to play it or install it. You could have just claimed it. It takes like a second.
But see, that's how I have trouble at HEB because they give you, we have the Combo Locos here, and I always end up getting free stuff with like bread, and then I don't use the free stuff.
That's a good point. I can definitely say HEB has rope-a-doped me into getting some meal deals, and I'm just like, wait a second, I was just going to buy a $5 sandwich. I spent $30 on barbecue.
Yeah.
Or but you got that mustard for free, yo.
Yeah, exactly. I like the ones where they're just irrelevant as fuck. Like they're just what? Because it'll be like, buy ketchup, buy bread, mouthwash. And I'm just like,
you're going to need this mouthwash after gargling that ketchup, yo.
But I don't, okay.
I like when they give you the coupon for like, I don't know, I think it's like the chicken, and then they give you you get like a half pound of like kitty food for free.
There you go.
Like, why?
That was a better example.
Why is that happening?
Something like this. It's like, but I don't have a cat. Yeah, like, well, cats exist, so now you can feed them.
Use the chicken to lure out some cats.
Eat the cat food while you're doing it.
Yeah, and then give them cat food afterwards.
Be like, you don't get this, you get this, idiot.
Yeah.
But okay, so PSVR birthday.
And then the other thing that I saw this week was the new trailer for the Digimon movie.
Right.
And it took me back, and I had to like check my calendar and everything because like all the Disney movies are coming back.
Yeah.
Everything, and I was
one of those deals.
It's exactly like.
I feel like when that meme started really like being very true. Like, that meme has been around for a while. They're like, what year is it? But then it's like just one nostalgic thing, and someone said that anyways. Yeah. And then it became two nostalgic things. And now we're at the point where it's like actually like 12 things are reboots or remasters or sequels of things from a long time ago. That I'm just like, okay, now you can say that. Now that meme is actually a thing.
Now it's relevant.
Like, it really is 96 again. It's like, what is this? But yeah, no, it's interesting. Well, I'll admit that I know Josh liked Digimon.
Yeah.
I missed that train entirely.
Oh.
I missed the Digimon train entirely. I just never got into it. I missed the Yu-Gi-Oh train entirely, and I missed the what is that? The hack.
Dot hack.
Dot hack. Yeah, I missed that. And those were three trains that just soared right over my head. I was very aware of them. A lot of my friends liked that stuff, but I was never involved in any of that.
I remember my older sister liked Yu-Gi-Oh! And my other sister was more into Pokemon. I mean, I loved all of it. I wasn't that into Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. I always sat there and would make fun of her. But then Digimon came on with Pokemon, and so we would just sit there and we had our whole afternoon shows that we were going to watch after school.
Nice.
And so when I saw that, I was just like, oh my god! And then they're like, it's the last one. I'm like, no.
So I know, Josh, that the three things I miss, I know you're very into those. Were your siblings equally as? Because I know that siblings doesn't necessarily mean y'all have the same interests. That's obviously in many households. But did your siblings, were they into the animes also, or not so much?
My stepbrothers were obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. So it was mostly a lot of Dragon Ball Z. We would also watch Transformers Armada a lot.
Nice. I missed that. That's where the motto was cool.
Yeah, I actually just recently ordered the DVDs off eBay, so looking forward to that. Yeah, they were mostly Dragon Ball Z. They knew of the other stuff, but
not really. They were just like, okay, well, that's a thing.
Yeah, they might have one of the Pokemon games, but they probably didn't play as much as I did. I think they kind of knew of Digimon. And I think my youngest stepbrother had a few Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but he never really learned how to play.
He's one of those who kind of probably just got swept up in the fact that other people were playing it. And
yeah.
I got a pack or deck.
Yeah, just kind of get swept up in the hype and whatever.
I heard that. But yeah, okay. But going back to the Digimon movie, yeah, I mean, it looked fine. I just had no idea what the fuck is happening.
It looks very clean and smooth.
It does look really nice. Is it going to launch in 60 frames, unlike Most games, probably.
Hopefully.
So is it supposed to be like a retelling of the first season, or?
That I'm not sure of, because it's just the teaser trailer. But you
And
definitely,
it's
like,
in Japanese.
Yeah, and you see Tai, and then you see Agumon, and they're like Tai is just walking away, and Agumon is following him, and then there's like this little like stone almost, and you just see one of the lights go out, like it's all lit up, and then you see one of the stones go out, and so that's basically the trailer. If you haven't seen it, sorry guys.
There you go. And yeah, as long as we don't have a weird scene where like they do that thing where Agumon just talks in English in a human voice for like a second, like Pikachu in Pokemon I Choose You. Yeah, that was really bad. Like, it didn't help that was supposed to be a really heartwarming, great moment for Pikachu. That like he loved Ash so much, he spoke in English.
Mm-hmm.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was really, really awkward.
Yeah, I think I saw like a clip of that.
Like, just watching the clip, you can't help but be like, why? Like, it's so...
Well, if Ryan Reynolds can do it, why not?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. See, that's how you do a Pokemon movie, right? Because that movie was great. And
it was fantastic. I loved it.
That's how you do it right, because they just went all in on fucking who cares.
Yeah.
The thing about, like, that movie also that was interesting that I found out when I was looking into it was that Mr. Mime was almost removed for being too much. Like, I like that was their, like, explanation of it. Like, even the Japanese execs... Actually, the Western execs were actually the ones who wanted him in there more. The Japanese execs were actually like, we really want Mr. Mime out of this movie. Like, please don't. We do not. Why? Look how weird he is. Why is this a thing?
That was a great sequence, though.
Yeah, I'm glad it stayed. I think it worked out. I don't know. There was something about... They did the thing that most people would have cringed at years ago, the whole hyper-realistic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked out well.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur was still cute, even though he had weird, gross plant shit all over him. So, like,
in the game.
that was cool. And he has that in the game, but it's all, like, anime and cutesy. Yeah. Even seeing it gritty, I was still like, okay, like, Bulbasaur's still cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I did see something that, like, warmed my heart the other day was, apparently Professor Oak was supposed to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. But they wanted to cast Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And then they just never recasted because they didn't think anybody else could do it or bring children happiness to it. So
there's definitely some roles. I have to
look into that a little bit more. Yeah. But
if that's true, I can see it because there are certain roles that like once that's it, that's it. Mm-hmm. Unless you're a big liar like CD Projekt Red when they were just like it was Keanu for Cyberpunk or nobody. It's like yeah, no, you guys actually just got lucky. Keanu said yes. So. Don't pretend like you guys were just gonna not have an act, like that role was just gonna be abandoned if Keanu said no. It's just.
But I'm like super happy for Cyberpunk.
That's gonna be cool. Cyberpunk's gonna be really awesome, despite all the controversy surrounding the studio and their decisions. The game itself will probably be really good. Witcher 3 was great, so they basically said they're just gonna, as far as support and the rollout and stuff goes for Cyberpunk, it's gonna follow the Witcher format. Like 3 major DLC support expansions. They're more expansions than DLC. I hate saying DLC because it makes you think of microtransactions and gross stuff. But they're gonna be like 3 expansions. They're gonna have like a lot of romance options. Like Geralt has like a ton, and then like they said that Cyberpunk's gonna have even more. Romance options are always like a thing where it's just like they can be really awkward sometimes, like some of the Mass Effect ones, or they can just be really over the top, like especially like the Witcher 1 and 2 ones. Witcher 3 was bad too, but like I don't know, all of Geralt's are not really much interactions. He just bangs them eventually. Like that's like. All it was in The Witcher, like they were, but you know what? I'll still take them over some of the weird Mass Effect sex scenes. The Mass Effect ones were really weird. Sometimes.
So right now, are we gonna just be waiting to see who Keanu gets to bang in
probably.
Cyberpunk?
or if you get to bang Keanu,
yeah,
or Rick Ross when Rick Ross was in that beginning scene of that trailer. But yes, that's the thing. Okay, so in my thing, real quick, my wrap up.
What was your week?
John left the podcast. I just gotta go.
You don't say.
Anyways, RTX was cool. I got to meet my heroes. Castle Super Beast, formerly Best Friends Play. They were my heroes for almost 8 years now, so that's a long time.
Boy, do I know.
I finally got to meet them. Huh? What's up?
I was like, boy, do I know.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like coming home from work and there's just like...
There they are, again.
Yeah, they're on the TV. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, wake up.
There they are. And then now they actually happened in the real life. And they're the whole reason I do all this for the past forever. It was nice meeting them. They were really cool. They weren't shits, so that's always good. It's always nerve-wracking to meet your heroes because for me they were my ultimate heroes. So that was like really like, oh god, please don't be shit. But I almost didn't meet them actually. Just going through that story real quick. So we went there. We only went to Rooster Teeth for them specifically, and went to the panel. That was cool. I got to ask them a question. I was actually on their episode of the podcast this past week, and so that's a dream come true. But when we went to go to the meet and greet, turns out there's a, like, Josh, when we go to San Japan or whatever, and like you can just get in line and you queue up and that's it. There's
it was a fee.
A pre-registration, not even. Just
okay.
There's only X amount of slots for each of the guests.
Right.
The pre-reg was only available to those who had weekend passes or higher. I only went for 1 day. So we learned that real quick. We asked the staff, like, hey, if there's room, which I doubt because their panel was packed, so everyone in the panel was probably going to go to the meet and greet. Is there a chance that we could just get on through if there's like a couple of spots? And the staff very politely was like, no, because then we would have, if we make an exception, it's just going to become a mess, as you can imagine. So you can't break the rule, as unfortunate as that is for you guys. So I was really bummed out at that point. And Josh wasn't there. Sean.
I was there in spirit.
I honestly wish you could have gone. Maybe we'll go next year together because that would be cool. But John was just like, no, you'll be good, man. And I was like, whatever, I'm just going to go spend money and spend my sorrows away because I put away like a lot of money for the con. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go waste money. When we went back to the exhibit hall, you have to scan your little pass to get in because if you have a bootleg pass, you're not allowed in the exhibit hall. So we scanned it, walked back into the sales floor. If you guys hear screaming, we're not murdering anyone. And in the room next door, they're playing D&D. So that's what's really loud. But anyways, so as soon as we scanned our passes to get right into the exhibit hall, I turned to my left and Wooly is standing right there. And then we look and then Pat and Paige are there. And I try to stay cool, but obviously lose my shit a little bit. And I, explain to them without being really cliche and being like, like legit following you guys for a really long time now. You guys like had like a really small amount of subscribers back then. And so blah, blah, and then explain to them each of the things they realized. They were very genuinely like, when I've obviously been following them long enough where like with Wooly, when his eyes just like got very serious and solemn when he found out and realized that how genuine I was about how long, not just another, forever, how long, when did you hear about us? A long time, when I gave a specific example of how long it's really been, and it really to him like, man, it's fans like this that have been there for like the better part of a decade.
I was like, what, like 2012?
Yeah, it's like when we got into them.
Yeah.
And so let him know that he got very solemn and went from like, first he was hyped, like, oh yeah, cool, man, cool, you're a fan. And then it got to very much like, bro, like, appreciate. Like, he was very like, really solemn all of a sudden. He was very cool. It was like, that. And that was really nice. I talked to them a little bit, got to actually hang out with them. It's even better than the meet and greet because it was better than the hurry up, go. Because it was all candid. And, they took time to meet us. Only one person kind of, random Aquaman came in and kind of just started talking and hijacked it for a little bit. But he was a cool guy. When he realized he was kind of interrupting, he kind of like did his thing and went away. Got to talk to them for a bit. Pat's girlfriend, Paige, who I've also been following since 2014, has, in a not weird way because she's a streamer, was there too, and that was a surprise. I didn't even know she was going to be there. She was the sweetest. The thing I really loved, what she said is she asked me what my name was again, and I go, it's Patrick, and she goes, oh, and then she looks at Pat and goes, then you're already in my heart, and then she holds her head in my heart, and I was just like, you guys are just the best. And so finally, when it's time to wrap it up, I didn't want to eat up too much of their time. I go up to Wooly and I go, want to bring it in, man? And he goes, bring it in. And this fucking huge behemoth of a man, Wooly, fucking gives me a hug. I hug Paige. That was really nice. And then I look at Pat. Pat's just looking at me and I go, awkward hug, man? And he goes, awkward hug. And then we do a weird side one and then we go and do a regular one. And it's this weird two Pats rubbing against each other. It was a dream come true. That's all I got to say. I was very, very happy, and I never thought that moment would come. It was their first time at RTX also. They are officially partners with Rooster Teeth, so potentially jobbers in a future season of Ruby as well as other projects is very much coming down the pipeline. Their shirts are officially pumped out by Rooster Teeth now. Official affiliates. I picked up both of their shirts. Good stuff. So I'm really excited. It was good stuff. So,
I was actually going to try to ask you if you could pick me up one of the shirts, but then I had some issues with my fucking bank account that wasn't fun. So I was like, well, fuck.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I would have. I also, from spending too much money that day, PayPal very much called me like 1,000 times and was just like, what is happening to your account? And I was just like, no, that's all me being very irresponsible. So, yeah, so
irresponsible in Austin.
Right? Irresponsible in Austin. Oh, that's the thing. Pat was just, I don't want to go on about it forever, but the thing that did make me laugh at the panel is Pat was just like, yeah, so Austin's weird and not in the way you guys think because I don't know why every time I come to America, it seems like the fakest fucking place in the world. He goes, like, it's always like I walk into a movie set and I really don't believe you guys are a real country still. And he was just like, why are there scooters everywhere? Because like how we have those little bird scooters here, downtown Austin, like more people were riding that than people walking.
Oh wow!
Like it was bad. Like it was embarrassingly weird how everyone was just riding. It's like walk. You're just going from bar to bar, riding this. Just walk. This is why it was. Yeah. Anyway, so he was freaked out about that. That was really funny. Wooly had queso for the first time and loved it. Like he's obsessed with it now, and he says it the weird white way, like queso. But he's Canadian, so it's forgivable. But like, he loved it, though. He said, you can put that shit on everything. He goes, it's the best. He's like, I can put it on steak. I can put it on nachos. I can do whatever I want. It's the best thing. And then they were talking about 4th of July because it's their first time in America during 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
And they go, and fireworks are super illegal in Canada. So they were just like, yeah, we thought that like maybe when you guys do that celebration, you have like little sparklers and Roman candles. He goes, no, there were like actual weapons grade explosions happening in the middle of the street. And then Pat was like, oh yeah, and then at the airport, all American women became flags apparently because everyone just wears that shit for some reason. Yeah. And then he also, they had the conversation because someone in the audience had to bring it up about whether Canadians or Americans have superior money. So Pat pulled out a Canadian dollar, which is made out of that weird like plastic shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you cannot rip that shit. Like you'd have to get like scissors. And then he pulled out a dollar bill and ripped it in 3 seconds. And was just like, oh, so superior. And then he just moved on from that. But it was a good panel. It was funny. It was nice of them being there. And if they do go there every year, I'm very excited to see them each time. So there's that. The dream one day being guests ourselves. So
that'll be awesome.
That'll be really cool. That's the goal. Getting into the news. Right now, one of the things that came out recently is Auto Chess Dota mod coming out called something. I forgot to write it down. Dota Legends, some shit like that. Anyways, I didn't even know what auto chess was, but it's definitely been a thing for a while, but I just never knew. I would always hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's apparently possibly the new hotness, like how Battle Royale came out with like PUBG, then Fortnite, then all the bootlegs. Yeah. Before that, it was Overwatch / Battleborn, and then all the MOBA first persons.
Yeah.
Apparently, from how things are looking, this might be the next thing. So for those hipsters out there, or those who are interested in just games that lots of people play in general, look into auto chess, because apparently it's going to be the next thing. And Dota right now is leading that charge with its mod of a mod of a mod.
You're saying auto chess?
Mm-hmm. Auto chess, like chess, the game chess.
Oh, okay, auto chess, yeah. Okay.
So apparently it's like a weird mix of like an RTS that moves like chess, that's semi-automated, kind of similar to those Korean MMOs that kind of play themselves.
Uh-huh.
Or on the RTS side of things.
Yeah, I'm like Googling it right now, actually.
It looks interesting. So we'll see. That's so yeah.
Auto battler genre.
Yeah, basically auto battles. I think that I'll either love that or hate that because there's people who absolutely hate automated elements of games.
Yeah.
And then there's people who that's their shit. There are tons of people who play those grind-heavy Korean MMOs that play themselves, like actually auto-walk, auto-play, and they just love the idea of having a level 1,000 character.
You can play on your phone.
Yes.
You can play without even playing them.
Basically. So we're basically South Park computer nerd PC gamer guy to the extreme now. We're like that guy and Wall-E combined. Even though that guy technically was the people in Wall-E also. But yeah, we'll see. Bold claim from video game analysts for that to be the next hot thing, because that's always hard to read. Because, I mean, Overwatch got really hot in, 2016? Was that when it launched? 2016 is when Overwatch came out?
No, I think it was before that.
Maybe?
I think it was like 2015, maybe.
Wow, it's been that long already, huh? Man, time, Jesus.
Yeah, because 26... Yeah, wait...
Early 2016, maybe?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Josh
it was May
I'm using the computer to record,
2016.
Okay.
So
2016. Okay. So, yeah, so
yes.
That was hot for a while. Then PUBG dropped in, 2017? 2018?
Sounds about right.
Probably early 2018. Yeah, Mallory, you can just keep looking up the dates.
Yeah. Don't worry about this.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm literally just Googling everything.
Yeah, 2017.
2017. Okay, so see, it's one of those things where it's just like
according to Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, the most reliable. No one vandalized Wikipedia, so all this information you guys are hearing is
exactly
accurate.
It's a good thing this isn't an English paper.
There you go.
Right?
We'd be fucked.
We would never use Wikipedia for an English paper and then use the annotated notes at the bottom as the sources. Mm-hmm. Never do that.
Nope.
So yes. So the new hotness keeps coming faster and faster and faster and faster. We'll see. If it is, I mean, I'll look into it. I'm always down for at least trying. Like, I tried League of Legends. It was toxic as fuck. I came back to League of Legends. It was worse. But the game itself is fine. Like, Josh and a bunch of our friends used to play private contained matches, and that was great. We had a fun time not being assholes, other than being to each other as a fun competition. Mm-hmm. But it was bad. I remember,
and I just can't get into it.
Yeah, and then Paul, who basically lived with us at that time, and we tried to play a few games with randoms, and it was just the worst every single time. Yeah. It's always like, why are you playing Jinx bottom? Why are you playing Jinx? Because I'm in the bottom, okay? Like, we're just trying out stuff. Like, Christ, we're not even ranked right now. Why are you getting so mad? Go to ranked if you're so good. Mm-hmm. Oh, your rank is garbage? Well, then maybe you shouldn't be telling us how to play the game. I don't know. It's just weird. But anyways, that's the thing. We'll see. MOBAs were a thing. League of Legends style, that was it. Then Overwatch. Then Battle Royale. Is it auto chess? We'll see. Maybe. Probably. But yeah, we'll see. Xbox Germany listing Final Fantasy VII Remake. That PlayStation exclusive on the Xbox store. So there was a listing for Xbox in Germany that Final Fantasy VII Remake would be launching on the same day, March 3rd, 2020, for Xbox as well. That listing has since been removed and marked as a mistake. It really harkens back. It makes me wonder now if it was really a mistake, which is very highly possible because, Xbox and PlayStation logos look exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really easy to confuse.
It's so easy to confuse that green and that blue.
Yeah. Exactly. I always get confused. Every time there's a conference, I'm like, oh man, is this the PlayStation conference? No, it's Xbox. What the fuck?
What the hell, man? I thought Halo was on PlayStation. But yeah.
It's not on PlayStation.
Well, it also doesn't help that most Xbox conferences rarely ever have exclusives.
Yeah, it doesn't help. That definitely does not help. Although lately, everyone's conferences has been like that. It's really bad. It's getting worse and worse. It's getting good in the sense that the exclusive barrier is getting lower and lower, but it's bad because it almost makes it like, what's the point of E3?
Yeah.
But yeah, so what that reminds me of is earlier this year, the lead director of Splinter Cell was like, "Hey guys, at E3, we're gonna announce a brand new Splinter Cell game. Splinter Cell's coming back. You know, you guys have been wanting one. The last one was like 1 trillion years ago, 5 years ago to be exact. That's close to 1 trillion. And guess what, guys? I'm the director. I am Splinter Cell, so I'm letting you guys know now. It's coming out." A day after that, Ubisoft goes, "Huh, no, there's no Splinter. What the fuck? There's no Splinter Cell. That guy's drunk. Look how much wine is in the background of the pictures he posted that day."
Wow.
And then the guy, the director, did the very old man on social media thing. And like, how do I delete this thing? And what is it? He instead of just deleting the tweet, right, and being like, he also changed his profile picture to like the Splinter Cell 3 dots and everything.
Oh,
and also changed his profile to director of Splinter Cell. So what he did is he did the very old man thing where he was like, "Guys, that tweet from the other day, please just ignore it and do not retweet it anymore and stop liking it, please. But dude, you can just delete it. Please, guys, don't look at it. Guys, please." And like legit, it was there for like another week before it finally got someone taught him how to delete it. And it was just so funny. So yeah, so E3 rolled around. Obviously, that was a month or so ago. No Splinter Cell. Now, it makes me wonder, the reason I brought that up is for both Final Fantasy VII Xbox and this Splinter Cell, are both companies just denying it because it was leaked? Like, was it really going to be at E3? And now Ubisoft is like, well, fuck it. Now we can't show it at E3, and maybe they're going to wait till Tokyo Game Show or something else. And then same thing with Xbox, like after it's on PlayStation, are they going to go, when Final Fantasy VII Remake launches, are they going to go, yeah, it's going to be on Xbox in 2021?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. And I'm reading some of this stuff right now, and it just seems kind of ridiculous, because everything is like, why would you say that then?
Yeah, so, right? Like so it really seems like it's hard to tell. Was one side just really baked, and was the guy like, I love Splinter Cell so much, and I want to make a Splinter Cell game so bad that if I lie about it, Ubisoft has to make it and bankroll that shit. Geez. Or is he telling the truth, and Ubisoft was like, dude, you weren't supposed to say. That was supposed to be our big power move. Now we just have the weird mobile Tom Clancy games and the other 5 Tom Clancy games that we announced at E3. Now look what you did.
You ruined
one of those were supposed to also be Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. We could have had 6 Tom Clancy games. Oh. That RTS weird Tom Clancy All-Stars, that's not really what it's called. But yeah. So Mallory, how was your week? Again. Do it again.
You know, it's okay.
No. Anyways, but yeah, did you ever play much of the Splinter Cell games?
I didn't. I watched my brother play them just because at that time... stop that. Oh.
Phone, this is going well.
Yeah. I was just trying to read this article. Yeah, it's like E3, Splinter Cell E3, don't wait for it. So I'm like, it's from GameSpot, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I watched my brother play a lot of them because I just wasn't, I was busy studying and doing other things that he would just sit and play them all the time.
Oh, yeah, they were great.
Yeah, and plus he's 7 years younger than me, so he didn't care.
He didn't care about anything.
Like, he got his schoolwork done, so he was done. And I'm like over there, like, writing reports and stuff.
You're like, so. I have adults to do. Whoa, I have adult thing to do. That was weird. I have adults to do. Get out of my room.
But I really enjoyed watching him play. I just would never play a game like that. Like, even now, he shows me games. Stealth
is not for everyone, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely learned that in Assassin's Creed, because all I would do was, like, kill somebody and then jump into a hay barrel. Like, I'm stealth, guys.
Yeah, you were playing it as intended, basically.
Yeah.
Josh, you played quite a bit of the Splinter Cell games, if I recall correctly.
I played the first one, and I played a little bit of the second one, but never finished it. But, with Splinter Cell, you need a lot of patience, because if you fuck up, you're full.
That's an actual stealth game, unlike pseudo-stealth games where, like, you can be stealth, or you can just fuck everyone up.
Yeah,
no, you didn't want to rush everybody.
Yeah, because, like, in games like Assassin's Creed or Metal Gear Solid, my experience being Twin Snakes, like, even if you fuck up, you could still fight your way out.
You can fight your way out, absolutely.
Yeah. Splinter Cell,
yeah,
not really.
Splinter Cell, no, because it also ruined several of the objectives sometimes. Like, it gave the stealth mechanics. Stealth is really hard to do. Stealth in video games, I would argue, is one of the hardest elements to pull off without making it boring or shitty. And Splinter Cell had it balanced so well that when you had your objective list, even though like you have 5 optional objectives in the main one, you didn't mind going out of your way. Yeah, I'm going to do this without killing anyone. I'm going to do this and hide everyone inside chest freezers. I'm going to do this and get that extra document that's locked in that really hard to get into your room. It wasn't like some games where I'm like, would this stealth stop already? Spider-Man PS4, I'm looking at you. Fucking Mary Jane, I don't mind playing Mary Jane. Her segments are actually kind of cool narrative-wise, especially. I want to do stealth with Mary Jane. I understand she can't web sling, but you could have done something else. Make me write a paper or do the photography. Don't have me do stealth. I don't remember Mary Jane being a fucking recon specialist. She could have been. I didn't read a lot of Spider-Man. But
I think she was that stealthy.
When every segment became that, I honestly was just like, oh, Spider-Man swinging around, the movement's so fun, the combat's so good. Oh, I'm sneaking around in a Chinese museum as Mary Jane. Wow. What a pace carrier. It wasn't bad, it did break up the momentum where you're having a lot of fun with Spider-Man and then that happened. But anyway, stealth is hard to do was my point, and we'll see if Splinter Cell or Final Fantasy VII Remake for Xbox does become a thing. I'm actually super excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know if you guys are. I wasn't at first. Josh definitely knows I wasn't at first. One of my most popular videos I made on YouTube is about how I wasn't excited about this when it got announced 5 years ago. I'm really stoked now. And the reason I am is because, first of all, I thought the project was just dead. Before all this footage and shit just dropped in a matter of weeks apart from each other, I thought Final Fantasy VII Remake was just a bunch of horse shit that they were just trying to string us along with that they would eventually make 20 years from now. Mm-hmm. But the game is so good looking and so looks like it's an actual thing. Not fake gameplay like Marvel's Avengers Square Enix, that I'm actually super stoked now. And here's why. Even though I always get mad at people for saying it's the best Final Fantasy game, it's really good. I'm recently doing my 3rd full playthrough of it on Switch right now. And it's a great game. The narrative was awesome. The big corporation message that they had is relevant now. Having a shitty leader in charge of your area is more relevant now than I thought so back then. And I enjoy it. The characters may not be the deepest, but they were fun. And guess what? A lot of people that are bitching about how it's not the ATB system truly, it's a weird mix of that and Final Fantasy 15 Kingdom Hearts combat. Mm-hmm. I'm glad, because I'll tell you what, the combat's fine, fun, and nostalgic now, but sometimes I'm just okay, could this, again, with this random encounter, come on, I'm just trying to get through the narrative, I just want to live the story again. And I know that's fucked up to say, because that is what made the game special back then, but I think modernizing it now, especially because this is going to be a lot of people's first times going through Final Fantasy VII, especially younger people.
That is true.
I think it's a nice mix. To have ATB mixed with live combat is good. And the good thing is, Kingdom Hearts 2's combat director is going to be working on it.
Okay.
Which is probably the best action RPG combat.
Get some QTEs in there.
Yeah, which they probably will, knowing them.
I just recently played Kingdom Hearts 2, the remake, when it came out for PS4 not too long ago. And you can definitely tell the difference between the first one and the second one.
Oh, absolutely. The second's combat is still... The second's combat's better than the third's combat.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, even...
yeah. There's no attraction specials.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first one, it's all glitchy, and even the jumping is weird.
It was rough.
Yeah, and then the Kingdom Hearts one was pretty
smooth. Then I was like, Jesus. And then the third one, of course, I'm like, can we have can we have 2 back? Like, I love that one. Bring it back.
Yeah, basically. And with Final Fantasy VII, and here's what I think happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake is they were trying to gauge the scale of it, because one thing that I've expressed in videos before, as well as Jim Sterling has, is that is Remake going to be an 8-hour version of a 60-hour game that's going to take away the message of the planet dying, of big corporation bullshit, and just become Bishi boys fighting the game?
Mm-hmm.
Because Sephiroth and Cloud's it's not even really a rivalry. I don't want to spoil the game, but it's not even... The misconception that Final Fantasy VII is all about Cloud and Sephiroth is what in post FF7 games has kind of ruined, because what made Final Fantasy VII special wasn't really that. That was like a subplot of the main story, was Cloud versus Sephiroth.
I remember being disappointed playing it for the first time and realizing like Sephiroth really wasn't like it wasn't what I thought it would be.
Exactly, absolutely, and that's what we were scared of, is that they were going to turn this into an 8-hour campaign about Cloud versus Sephiroth and just totally throw everything else under the bus. It looks like Square took the route that I didn't think they were going to, because this is going to cost money. Now it's going to make money, but it really looks like they're going to do the whole game, as much of the side quests as possible, dumb egg bird shit and all, and squats and cross-dressing in that graphical capacity. Because what happened is originally they were like, this is going to be 3 parts, then we're done. They've now redacted that statement and said, we don't know how long this is going to be. To put it in perspective so I don't drone on forever, here's what they said. This first part that's coming out in March is going to be just Midgar for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the size of Red Dead Redemption 2. Which is right now like the actual 2 Blu-ray discs / content and beautiful graphics. Now,
see, I love when they do that, though. They actually put time and effort into this. And it really shows when you do, especially if you're doing a remake like this where it's so fan-loved.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to give...
So, this is going to be a very expensive game, because these are going to be $60 a part.
Oh yeah, because it's episodic and shit.
It's episodic. So now
that's one of the skepticisms I have about it. Or criticisms, rather, but...
So the general consensus is this is going to be a 5-part game, probably. Because if part 1 is just Midgar, there is a lot to go after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, that being said, even though, 40 of those 80 gigs is going to be graphics, probably, I am excited, because if I can get that graphically immersive, because from the trailer, it looks amazing. So if I can get immersive, semi-open world GTA style, walking around Midgar, going into these shops that are very beautiful looking, walking around the casino, very beautiful, and while still staying faithful to the original narrative, now I'm on board. I was a hater for the last 5 years, but now that it looks like they're going to do a not bullshit Reader's Digest version with pretty graphics, I'm very excited. So, yeah. What about you guys? I know I just took over the stage for the last 20 minutes talking about that nonsense. What are you guys stoked for it? Do you guys care? Do you not care? Final Fantasy VII opinion in general?
No, I'm excited. I remember seeing the first trailer for it, and me and my sister were just we were blown away. And I mean, we've seen remakes of games, and we were very disappointed in some of them. I won't go into the list because I'm pretty sure it's long. And plus, I haven't thought about those remakes since I've played them. But this one, I remember my brother was showing me stuff from E3 because I wasn't able to watch a lot of the footage, and he brought up this trailer, and my jaw kind of dropped with just how smooth it is.
Yeah, it looks
great. He was like, well, that's not even the best trailer. I was like, this is the best trailer you're going to show me today. I know this for sure.
No, you're not going to show me anything else. You guys are just going to show me nothing next. You're going to show me Tom Clancy.
I was like, I might as well just go home at this point because I'm excited. I don't want to ruin my momentum. I've been excited they said it, and then when they said it was a remake and all of that, I was just like, ugh.
Speaking of remakes, Resident Evil remake got... Anyways, that's off topic. But yes. Good though, so good. Mr. Josh, I know we've had many people scream at us on the internet about our opinions that we've expressed about the game in the past.
Yeah. I just have my skepticism and criticism over it. I mean, the nostalgia for Final Fantasy VII doesn't hit me as hard as a lot of people.
Right.
It's a good game. I played it. It's good.
Same.
I don't think it lived up. I think what hurt the fact was that everybody hyped it up for me. Everybody just kept talking about it's like the best game ever, and I played it and I was like, yeah, it's good.
That game for me, getting slightly off topic, was Last of Us. Great game. Trust me. Amazing game. Arguably more story than gameplay, because the gameplay wasn't anything special, but the story was good. But I was a little underwhelmed because everyone told me it was the best game ever. And I was just like, no, it's good though.
Yeah.
It's the internet's because it's hard to express your opinion without becoming a target, right? Like back when Breath of the Wild launched. Now, I'm not equating me and Jim Sterling being on the same influential level. Jim Sterling has 800,000 subscribers. I have 100. But we both had a similar reaction from the internet when we both gave Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10, which, as he likes to remind a lot of people, is not a bad score.
It's not.
Just because it dropped the Metacritic from a 98 to a 97, which still puts it in one of the top games of all time rating-wise.
It's literally like 1 point.
Yeah. Because Jim's review dropped it by a point, everyone lost their minds and got really pissed off. They DDoSed his website 3 times. They were just all this crazy stuff. Like, they just went berserk. It was a whole fiasco. Other gaming journalist sites, that I won't name, wrote articles about his article being wrong, his opinion being wrong. And in the end of it, like I was always telling people, the reason I bring this up is this actually just came up on Discord when people were talking to me about game journalism stuff. And I was just like, why were we not allowed to say it's a 7 out of 10? We said it was good still. 7 out of 10 is a good game score. That's still higher than what I give a lot of games.
Yeah.
But because it didn't line up with the general consensus that Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest games in the last 5 years, which I don't think it was. I just don't think it was.
It was a good game. It was really open, which is something I wanted to see from Zelda for a long time.
It was good, yeah.
It was good, but I mean, I definitely didn't, because I played some of it, and some of the mechanics were a little funky, just because they've never done a game like that before.
A lot of my initial, what knocked it down to 7...
Zelda hasn't done a game like that before.
Exactly. My 2 biggest gripes was the game dropping below 30 frames a lot, and here's the thing I go with that. I'm not to the point where I'm like, every game should be 60 frames. I feel it should, but I won't say a game sucks because it's not, right? Because a lot of console games aren't. However, in this day and age, I don't think you should ever drop below a locked 30 FPS, especially a major studio. There's no excuse to drop a game when games like Detroit Become Human and I hesitate to call it a game, Order 1886.
You mean that movie?
Yeah. Graphically are great and have locked 30 frame rates and are way more graphically intensive than Zelda could ever be.
God, The Order was such a bad game. God
damn you, The Order. Fuck you.
It was just flexing what the PS4 could do graphically. That's all that game was. That's all it was. It should have came free with the console.
And you know what's even worse is the thing that pushed it being more of a demo than a game was the weird look at your weapon mechanic every single time weapon. This paper!
What you can do with the controller in the touchpad, it's so cool, right?
It was so cool, guys. Too bad Infamous Second Son did a much better job with that by using it to do the graffiti shit. They took the motion control, the touchpad, and the color, and did it so much better than the Order did, and it came out first. Anyways, but yeah, getting back on it, like, a lot of people I feel are either being contrarian or wearing rose-tinted glasses when they talk about Final Fantasy VII. However, even coming from someone who doesn't hold it on that high of a pedestal, I am really excited, though. So
yeah, I mean, I plan to check it out. I don't know if I'm going to get it on launch, but I have to see what else comes out.
$60 is a lot of money to ask.
It is. It really is for something that's episodic and shit. Like that is a lot. I don't mind the fact that they're changing the combat system. If it's gonna the combat in 15. Granted, some parts were really dumb, like the summoning mechanics was stupid and practically non-existent.
Which that is one of the things I'm scared of to see how they're going to do the classic FF7 summons we know and love.
Yeah, but otherwise the combat was fine in that game,
especially for a modern game. It honestly, I told people because my friend Final Fantasy 15 was their first one, and they were like, "Where should I go from here?" And I said, "Don't."
yeah.
So, now you're going to be so used to that fun, casual, cool-looking. You're going to play 10 and be like, "Why?" Mm-hmm. You're just going to look at this turn-based combat and be like, "The fuck am I doing? This takes so long. Why is this battle taking an hour?" Yeah, I told him, I was like, it's hard to go back from that once you get used to that more casual, streamlined combat. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I think it's a good move to keep that. Fuck everyone who keeps saying it should go back to turn-based. You probably haven't played Final Fantasy VII in 20 years. So, stop.
Speaking of... I probably haven't. Oh, actually, no. It's probably been a little over a decade for me, actually.
And anyway. Me was until I launched it on the Switch. Man, the Switch has so many good games.
Nice.
I remember one podcast was like just me drooling over the Switch, like how many good ports and games are coming to it, like originals and ports. I was just like, this is the best thing ever.
How do you feel about the Switch Lite?
The Switch Lite would have been cool if I didn't already fucking buy a Switch. Right. However, I don't regret it because for content creator purposes, you can't dock the Switch Lite, so that would be a nightmare to record on that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that. So I still don't regret it, but it's really cool. For $100 less to not be able to dock and not have Joy-Cons that keep almost falling off, it's pretty damn cool. Like, Josh, for you don't have a Switch yet, right? Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Josh?
Uh-oh. We might have lost Josh. This happens in podcasts sometimes. Or over Skype. I think it's saying he's connected.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, okay, so we'll go on just in case.
I'll just put it back in at some point.
I heard something.
Hello?
Oh, there he is. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I don't know what. I had to toggle the microphone and then check the cable. I don't know what was. Nothing was.
Where you could hear us, but we couldn't hear you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Josh, you don't have a Switch yet, right?
Correct, not yet.
Switch Lite, unless you really think you're going to play it docked, which again, unless you're going to do Let's Plays, you really don't. I thought docking was cool for the first bit, but now I just love being able to take a fucking HD console to go. It's actually really cool. Has a 3 or 4 hour battery life. Guess what? I'm a working person, so that's more than enough for me to play during lunch.
Yeah.
I would say that for $100 less than the full-on shebang now, you might want to look into that, buddy. It's actually really cool. So unless, again, like I said, unless you plan on recording your gameplay on it. But if you feel like you're just going to play and you're probably not going to do many Let's Plays or recordings of Switch games, I would say you might want to jump in on that because for $199, that's hard to beat.
That's what we're my nephew and his and my niece for their birthdays is the Switch Lite.
Hell
he doesn't really need to dock it or anything.
Yeah, so my opinion, if you have one already, don't double dip. There's no point in that. There would have been a point if Nintendo's cloud save system wasn't actually the worst thing ever, or non-existent for some games, like how many Animal Crossing, Pokemon, Splatoon, no cloud saves. So if you lose your Switch or you're trying to transfer over, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Bye.
Yes. A game like Animal Crossing, where I'm going to drop 100 plus hours, if I break or lose that Switch, I'm done. That's
I'm
it. That
sad that that's not coming out this year.
I'm really sad. Well, that's the thing. The E3, and I'm going to refer to Jim Sterling a lot, but E3, I love what Jim Sterling said. The winner of E3 was 2020, because nothing at E3 2019 that's really that great other than Death Stranding is going to come out this year. So fuck it.
Yeah.
All the good stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Animal Crossing, everything else is coming out next year, whether it be early next year, Cyberpunk, all that stuff is all coming out next year. So yeah, it is a little bummed out because Animal Crossing was originally slated to drop in February, then it got pushed to summer, now it's next year.
Yeah.
But God, how many times we've gone through that nonsense for games to come out. As long as it's good. That's all we ask for.
Yeah.
I always tell people as long as it's good. Speaking of as long as Good. I do want to talk to you guys on a final topic we had with John last time, just because John's no more. So, with that being the thing, so the Cuphead developers were talking about this brand new DLC, like really big DLC, almost expansion-esque for Cuphead, that they're delaying for quality assurance reasons because they want it to be good when it comes out. That's cool and all, right? But we all hear about, lately, crunch has always been a thing, but it's getting more and more ridiculous and more common in the gaming industry than it has been in the past. It's at its peak now where every company is crunching to actual unhealthy standards. With that being said, we talked about the potential of lots of games riding the wave of, well, they like to say as long as it comes out when it's good. We came up with this thing, this fear of reverse crunch, where shit companies like EA are going to be like, oh, we're delaying it 3 years for quality reasons. And they're going to try to take this whole, but you guys didn't like crunch, right? And flip script and make it stupid where, like, they're not even working on the game for 2 years, working it on 1 year to finally shit it out. And taking advantage of the thing to save face / take their time on franchises they don't give a fuck about.
Right.
Do you guys see the AAA industry taking advantage of that and that potentially being a thing? Like, is that a legit fear or probably not?
No,
I could sadly see that happening.
Right? Isn't it fucked up? You could, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that happening, or like they'll also do it as a ploy to like, oh, but don't y'all want these games sooner? I mean, you know.
I feel like this gives the AAA industry a scary amount of way to play things. Like I said, it can make them fake look like the good guys, while at the same time being able to just take fucking like 3 years to make a game now.
Mm-hmm.
Mallory, go ahead.
Well, I mean, when I first, because Cuphead is one of the cool, like, aesthetically it is one of the best looking games.
Yeah, I don't like it gameplay wise because I suck at it, but I love the look. It's
like really hard.
Yeah.
But like I know that they pushed back the original date because they weren't happy with it.
Yeah, they did
so
say
they
that.
waited. So I think the developers,
they'll probably be genuine. To be clear on the record, I'm not hating on Cuphead's devs.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Like all that shit's like hand drawn.
I think that's a legitimate thing, right? But you have. For me, my perfect example is, lately what the thing has been is games that get better later, right? No Man's Sky is one of my favorite examples. When it came out, it was shit. It is great now, years later. It's really good. I play it now, and it's great. And it's way different than launch. But ever since then, a lot of people try to ride that wave now where they're shitting out incomplete games and being like, don't worry, it's going to get good. One of the main examples right now being Todd Howard. And the reason I bring up Todd Howard and Fallout 76 is it's shit. And it's still shit. And it's really bad because other than the canvas bag controversies and all that stuff, which people finally got now.
They finally got him, huh?
They finally got him. And it took this long and that much complaining. So the thing with that is that Todd Howard was in an interview. And the problem is, it gives these bigger guys the excuse to just be like, he literally said, we knew from the beginning this wasn't going to be a high Metacritic game.
Oy.
So we came into this because when Skyrim came out, you know why we had to release it 100 times? Because we didn't have a touch of base that we could live update because we didn't have this communication with the player. Now with Fallout 76, it's a game that grows with the audience. We got to learn their habits and know what they want. We didn't know that they wanted there to be gameplay from the beginning. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, a quick concern of that is it's pretty much gonna make the norm being that you're buying an alpha copy of a game.
Right, and where that comes in is where at least Bethesda supporting Fallout 76. They're finally... So for those who are confused, because a lot of people always ask me, why was Fallout 76 bad when it launched? Here's actually how Fallout 76 worked. And I'm not even going to exaggerate, because it's more insulting to just say how it was. So here's what happens. So in Fallout 76, you make your character and you get shit out into the Fallout world, right? Which is literally just a repurposed Fallout 4, right? Mm-hmm. There is one NPC. Now, Fallout 4... New Vegas 3, all the Fallouts basically, are known for their storylines and the NPCs you build relationships with and go along the way. So all you have is one NPC that's the quest giver, and you're supposed to run out and meet other players, and that's supposed to be your self-narrating thing, is meeting Blunt 420 3000 and your adventures that you formed with him doing these fetch quests that the one NPC in the world, actually one NPC on the game, would give you.
Yeah.
Now they're finally adding the Fallout content. They're going to add narrative NPCs and actually have stuff to actually do now over like a year after it's been out now.
That sounds terrible.
Right?
I think this is the only one I did watch my brother play because I think we got to the first NPC and then there was, I didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, that was the last NPC too, so you saw the whole game.
I was like, what are we doing?
And so, but at least Bethesda's going to support it. Not that that makes it good, but at least they're going to support it, right? Where the fear comes in, where you, Josh, were just saying that it can set a precedence for just them always doing this, is becoming the industry standard, which it is starting to become, is when you run into issues like Anthem. Now, mechanically, Anthem was a sound game. Unlike Todd Howard's favorite phrase, it just works. Anthem actually did work. The game felt fine. The Iron Man flying was fine. The character creation was cool. The suits, you could go through different texture wheels. You could have it any color under the sun. There were different patterns. Mechanically, it was a sound game. There was just nothing to do. Now someone would be, well, you just explained why Fallout 76 could eventually get good, right? Well, here's the problem, is that BioWare just delayed the entire roadmap. They had this whole plan for like what Fallout 76 did of when, hey, this expansion is going to come out for Anthem, when this next thing is going to hit. They basically just said, we don't know now. And now, with shareholders having no faith in Anthem, shareholders want Anthem to just get canceled. You're talking about a game that would have received zero support, took everyone $60, and just died because it decided to go the roadmap route. It's the exact reason I'm not hyped for Marvel Avengers. First of all, Marvel Avengers is another shit show because it looks bad. And here's why it looks bad. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is trying to be nothing like the movies, and it looks good because of that. Marvel Avengers Square Enix game is trying to take place in the movie universe without the likenesses of Robert Downey Jr. and everyone. So now they look like complete versions that are canonical with the movies, essentially. But now it's melting face Robert Downey Jr. and not Chris Evans as the staff.
Yeah.
On top of that, they tried to fake gameplay because there's no gameplay in that trailer. Everyone who fights me on that, fuck you. It's not true. There's no gameplay. All they did was move to have some weird behind-the-back third person for a few scenes of flying around and stuff, but there was no actual gameplay. But the thing that killed me, other than it looking awful, was when the lady, the really cringy lady that presented it, goes, all right, guys, and here's the thing. No microtransactions. Everyone's like, oh, yeah. That's been the big pop lately. That's what Randy Pitchford did when he said that there was going to be no microtransactions in Borderlands 3, when later that same conference they announced there were going to be microtransactions in Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
What
you should have seen it coming.
You should, I know, right? What she did is she goes, no microtransactions. And everyone's like, yeah. She's like, and we're going to support it for the next few years, which means there's not going to be anything at first. We're going to put the content as it goes along, and there's going to be a roadmap.
Yeah.
Stop it with this roadmap shit. Just release games. Josh, do you remember when games came out?
I remember when games came out.
You remember when Bloodborne came out and you just played it?
Yeah, I mean, it had its issues, but they fixed it in a patch. but yeah, it wasn't...
I played just recently. That came out, and I just played it. Fucking hell, man. This is why, I had a big argument with what I consider the last greatest AAA game. We had a lot of debate, first of all, on what the definition would be. Eventually, we decided that Witcher 3 does count, despite coming from an independent studio. The game reached such critical acclaim, it counted as a mainstream game. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, that was the last great one. There have been a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Judgment, Bloodborne, the other games I didn't just easily just say, oh, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Those are good games, but in my opinion, the last great game was Witcher 3, and that one is like 2015.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that just makes me nervous thinking about, like, pre-ordering games and, like...
To me, that's why you just should not do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, also, like, it's just, like, I will probably only wait, like, a year to buy any of the games that they say are coming out. Because
right,
it's like,
allegedly
I want to play a game, not just be like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to do. Like...
Yeah, it's just
I'm
really
playing
bad.
This to distract my life. Or, you know, just at least to enjoy it, and... There's nothing to do. What's the point?
Exactly. I think the only good thing to come out of this is how many great indie titles and developers got surfaced because people are so tired of the AAA industry. Cherry Team's Hollow Knight, Katana Zero, any Devolver Digital title, basically. Platinum Games coming and getting some nice light lately. With stuff like that, it's like, I'm glad now, because now all these other studios get time to shine. Including... From Software's delayed release, a very delayed release in the States of like a Metal Wolf Chaos. Stuff like that people can actually get excited about now because back in the day when Mass Effect and Assassin's Creed were actually decent, you could look forward to those, and it kind of eclipsed all these indie titles that were coming out every year. Mm-hmm. Now the indie titles actually getting more...
See, I play mostly indie stuff, so
that's good. That's good.
I'm excited for that.
Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell VR being announced. That's a thing now.
Oh man, one thought I had earlier is how are they going to implement microtransactions in a new Splinter Cell? Like buy extra stealth points, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about.
Be more stealthy for only $10.
The last Splinter Cell game that came out was definitely well before the loot box microtransaction craze.
Yeah, that was. Wait, what was the name of that one?
Blacklist or
Yeah, I was thinking Conviction, but that was
that was still before. Yeah, I think it was Blacklist was the last one.
I think Blacklist
because it was Double Agent, then Conviction, then Blacklist or something like that. Anyways, they're all really good. But, I am scared of that. With this Splinter Cell VR, what are they going to do? Like, get a stealth buff? Like, be able to run out buck naked in the middle of the thing and still not be seen for $10?
Yeah.
I'm worried. It could be a thing. Or if they bring back Mercenaries versus Spies, it could be, increase your vision code as the mercenary for, $2. It's scary. It's scary that we can't get hyped about these type of things. When I think of Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell VR, I kind of wonder what they could possibly do with it that's going to make it any better without making it worse. I feel like it could just make it worse, because Fallout 4 and Skyrim VR worked because those kind of games are very immersive to begin with, and it is about open world exploration and walking around. I don't see Assassin's Creed or Splinter Cell being franchises that really benefit from VR.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, I've only played like 2 VR games, so I'm not really...
Like in was it Brotherhood where you play as Ezio's sperm?
I don't... well, I know... Wait, do you mean the part where he was born and you press the buttons to move his little arms? Yeah, that was 2.
That was weird.
That was really weird. Like, we gotta configure the animus. Press Y, and then you see like a little baby's arm wiggle. It's like, this is awkward.
It was so awkward and bad. Why?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see any benefit coming from it, because even though Skyrim VR and Fallout 4 VR were really just an excuse to sell the game again.
Honestly, the only thing I can think that would be cool about Splinter Cell VR is probably just being able to wear the night vision goggles.
God, yeah, you're right. Hear that classic sound? Oh, yeah. Yes.
I feel like that's all you would be doing, Josh. Is just doing
that.
Like you're not even doing it. You're not even playing the game.
Night vision goggles simulated, just to hear the sound on and off over and over again.
You may as well just make Night Vision Goggle Simulator.
Want this to be a thing. This is a much better game. I'm glad we had this discussion.
Let's start a Kickstarter for it.
Yeah.
Shigeru Miyamoto, in an interview lately, said that developing an adventure game in 2019 is hard. What this reminds me of is oh god, I forgot her name. I'm so sorry, but she writes a lot of the good Naughty Dog narrative. She's the lead writer at Naughty Dog, and what she talks about how is that the narrative game, like the out of the shoot bangs, the Last of Us, those type of games, are some of the hardest titles to get greenlit now because statistics show that no one gives a fuck about the average consumer doesn't give a fuck about story anymore. They just X their way through the cutscenes until it's shoot bangs time again. Dang. And that's sad because she does talk about these great games like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, where the story is fantastic and absolutely essential to the game not being shit. Mm-hmm. And because of that,
Is that her? Amy?
Oh, was it?
Do you know?
Oh yeah, Amy Hennig. Yeah, that's her. Very good, very good.
She just it says she left Naughty Dog.
She did leave Naughty Dog now, but she was behind a lot of the big stories and stuff like that. But yeah, and she did talk about that, and it was really sad hearing someone be like, "My wheelhouse is becoming irrelevant because of Fortnite." Basically, that's not the exact example she get, but that's basically where she was going with it. Mm-hmm. Miyamoto's story was kind of the same thing. He goes, we like to make these great epic adventures with our Nintendo franchises and stuff like that, but it just really seems like no one cares. Everyone just wants to see the next, Muso game or fucking Battle Royale. He goes, no one cares about, the cool adventure anymore. There's a waning interest in that genre.
And it's just Smash sad. Battle Royale.
Yeah, which is sad because a lot of our stuff, like, for example, Josh, we like Persona. And how much would that suck if they were basically... Thank God Persona's reeling in that cash, especially with Persona 5. But if
Royale coming out soon.
Yeah. If there was a risk of that type of game dying because of it, we would be sad. What if our dumb Yakuza games and Persona games went away with their fun stories? That would, it's sad to hear that people basically are, for lack of better explanation, turning dumb, basically.
Yeah.
They're not interested in anything fulfilling. Like, taking something away with it, right? Like, when you beat Persona 4, or when you beat any game that takes longer than 60 or 80 hours, you really leave a lot from it. Following the evolution of Kiryu from 1 through 4, and, what the fuck did I just say? 1 through 6, is a very special thing because this character changed and developed and went through a lot of shit that you also went a lot through with me spending 40 to 60 hours in each of those games. You really left with something special. Kiryu will always be one of my favorite protagonists now, even though normally his style would not normally be something I give a fuck about normally in a pro tag. That sticks forever now. Whereas the amount of time I played in PUBG, I don't even remember any of those matches. Because there was nothing for any future gratification from that game.
Well, I fell off when all the Battle Royale and all of that started. I bought Fortnite just so I could play the PvE because that was more fun than the Battle Royale stuff.
Which is funny because that was originally the vision of the game.
It was originally the PvE. I actually had fun playing the PvE with some friends. But I never touched the PvP. It just, I couldn't find the appeal of it because it was like, so, it's like, okay, you just pick your character and then your loadout is random? Like, why?
And your character, male or female, was completely random.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you bought skins.
Yep, which was their way to make you buy skins. Because a lot of people were like, oh, I'm some weird girl. I'm a boy, though. Oh, gotta get these skins with the V-Bucks, and it was like it worked out for them. Like,
there's actually a really good video. Maybe I'll link it to you later, but pretty much talking about how, like Fortnite, like that's the whole marketing thing. It's like, oh, you want to play for free? Okay, you get to look like this basic pleb, and now you want to be cool and express yourself. You better have the money to do it.
Exactly.
So it's like. Yeah, you got to have privilege in gaming too.
That's really good, and what that really does make me think of is and the reason I want to bring this up is because one, I always shim Jim Sterling, but then on top of that, I used to be in the mindset of it's just cosmetic or it is free to start. I used to be in the camp of thinking that was okay. I really did, But Jim Sterling was always against it. And I was wondering at first why. And eventually, as I listened to him and heard these stories, he made a very good point where he goes, if you think loot boxes or free-to-play mechanics that make you do microtransactions are completely optional, they may be to you. Mm-hmm. I think we all, at least as far as I know, no one needs to tell any dark stories right now, but as far as I know, none of us have a real gambling problem. But there are people who do. And my version of that, where I go in that, is I did become a victim in Overwatch. Because I was so dead set on having every Mercy and Diva skin, I was literally paying $50 to $100 a season on loot boxes.
Oh, wow.
So they got me. They got me, and I didn't even realize they got me until he pointed out the fact that that's the end game goal of why they do these skins that are cool and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but not
it gets like incredibly tempting.
Yep, and then he talked about with gambling mechanics that it gets even worse from there. So he made a very good point. If it doesn't affect you, that's fine and dandy, good for you, but you're not the prey. And it's important to realize that these free-to-play games that do have these ferocious mechanics of getting you hooked, giving you your first hit for free, they do affect a lot of people and have ruined lives, like financially. There was that thing recently with the FIFA microtransactions of those kids that cleared out their parents' bank accounts.
Yeah.
Because the parents were not tech savvy and didn't realize that the payment information stays on that account. And to little kids, they don't understand that money is a real thing that makes the world go round. They think it's just this thing that gets you things. But yeah, the whole point being is that A, we don't get the Fortnite craze, and then B, the maliciousness of the free-to-play world is a lot deeper than people actually think.
I mean, I just don't understand I don't understand why we started microtransactions. I mean,
they just did it because they finally realized they can make, it's like when they started making cars and appliances shittier on purpose because they realized that if you have to buy a car or appliance 10 years, it's better
They're not going to make as much money, yeah.
Yep. That's the thing.
I mean, I'm
That's
just not into
microtransactions. They realize and roadmaps. They realize they can try less now, sell it to you now, and then move at their own pace after.
Yeah,
give them money already.
We'll sell a shitty coffee maker that lasts a year, so you have to keep buying coffee makers rather than like a good one that can last you 5 or 10.
How many of our parents' appliances lasted forever? Like, you had that fridge in your house when we grew up. Some of them still have that fridge. It's just in the garage now. But they still have that fridge, probably.
I think my grandma had the same oven for like 40 years.
Not anymore. So yeah, just that.
A game turning into a critique of capitalism.
Which, honestly, this podcast does a lot because the industry gives us a lot of ammo to do it with. But yeah, we'll move on from there because we have dwelled on that a bit. A game I want to show because a lot of people didn't play it or even heard of it was a game recently that came out called The Sinking City. It's a whole-on Cthulhu game. But unlike the Call of Cthulhu game and then that one that came out very recently, that detective one, it's a weird adventure. It is a detective game also because Cthulhu Detective just works so well. But there's action elements, crafting elements of gear, and it's so fucking broken, but I love it. What it reminds me a lot is of Deadly Premonition. Deadly Premonition is in my top 10 games of all times, and it's probably one of the most broken, fucked up, glitchy games I've ever played with some of the worst voice acting I've ever experienced, and I love it. Sinking City is not quite that good, but I can't stop playing it in between Judgment, basically. Like, I don't know. It's just something addictive about it. They did shit right, like literal shit right. And the Cthulhu elements in there, the way the monsters are designed, there's some cool, pretty polished elements in there too, but the mechanical elements are a little messed up. But overall, I would definitely advise it, especially if you do like Cthulhu, lore and literature. It's definitely worth checking out. I would definitely say so.
This is definitely something I'm going to play. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
It looks
cool.
Impressive just from the pictures.
Get that daily dose of eldritch truth.
Basically. Speaking of capitalism, there's an update on a story John and I covered in the past, which we mentioned that Iron Maiden was suing 3D Realms 3D Realms they still are. They were making a game called Ion Maiden, and it had a lot of Iron Maiden references because they did a lot of homage stuff. There's a skeleton dude in there that very much looks like Eddie. The main pro tag looks like Steve Harris in female form. Rule 34 Steve Harris. And then you had the name of the game itself, Ion Maiden. Well, although I don't feel the band themselves necessarily moved into action because I don't see Steve Harris or Bruce or anyone being the video game industry news keeping up with types, their publishing company, Iron Maiden Holdings LLC, filed a suit against 3D Realms and ended up winning. Unfortunately, the court did agree that there's too much being referenced without any payout to the. But it's a homage. It was a very gray area court case. Yeah. But they ended up going in favor of Iron Maiden's holding company and gave them the rights to it. They tried to strike them some fucked up bullshit deal where they made some impossible terms like, if you give us, like, this isn't the real deal, but basically something as ridiculous as like, if you give us 90% of the profits, we'll let you do it. So 3D Realms like, yeah, no, we're not. So any deep references will be scrubbed from the game. They're reworking stuff that just won't work because it doesn't make sense because it's not an homage anymore. And they changed the name of the game to Ion Fury now. So let's hope there's not a band called that. So yeah, that's a thing that happened. I get it, I guess, but it's not like Iron Maiden is one of the biggest heavy metal bands on earth that actually makes like a lot of money. So, but I guess from a corporation's point of view, you get what you can get.
Well, they're also saying that like it's just blatant infringement at this point, like incredibly blatant.
It was, I guess, too referencey. The references became too much like the actual product.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's like why they had to make so many changes when they localized JoJo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my god, JoJo is such a copyright nightmare if they tried to keep everything the same.
Yeah.
They just couldn't here in the States. It just doesn't work. They kept some of the music, though.
I guess but you can buy the music depending on where you buy it from and all of that.
Yeah, they probably had that, like, taken care of. I mean, like, I know with, what's the band? Savage Garden? Like, I know with Savage Garden, like, they even had the thing where they sold, I think it was in Asia only, you can buy, like, an album of Savage Garden's, like, hits, and it has Josuke from Part 4 on the cover.
That's the fucking actual best, dude. I want a Savage Garden CD officially collabing with JoJo.
Yeah, and they even announced on Twitter, they're like, oh yeah, we do the ending theme for JoJo 4. Like, this is pretty cool.
I always love when you get this. Here we go, another fucking tangent. But it does remind me of this, though. I always love when what the fuck, like, left field meets right field ridiculously. Yeah. And the example I'm going to have is both for the same thing, technically. So there's this K-pop group I really like called Luna. And they're definitely far from mainstream, but they're definitely popular among their own fan base. But both Elon Musk and Chips Ahoy have just randomly pulled in Arby's and talked about Luna on their social medias. Well, Elon Musk made a little more sense because Grimes did a song with them. So he was dating Grimes, so shill. But Chips Ahoy had absolutely zero reason and just randomly talked about him, so actually no fuck all reason. So it reminds me of that, basically, with the whole Savage Garden thing. So it's always interesting when, like, game recognizes game, but you would have never thought they would ever even look at each other.
Yeah, Chips Ahoy definitely bringing up K-pop is like...
That was weird, but I'll take it, I guess.
Well, yeah,
Chips Ahoy,
it's just another point, but...
K-pop fans.
It's just confusing.
It was very confusing. Jedi Fallen Order recently talking about their very boring-looking male pro tag. It's the dude from fucking Gotham, so that's weird. The dude who plays the main protagonist, what's his name? Cal Kedis or whatever. I'm having a very like this interested tone. It's not a bad thing. It's just weird. But yeah, they used the likeness and voice actor from one of the from Joker in Gotham. He's going to play pro tag in Jedi Fallen Order. So yeah, there's that. Of course, and I don't want to get into that shady ass, like that fucking shark infested water, but there was of course some questionings of why Jedi Fallen Order's protag is going to be a male and not a female. But they had an interesting answer. There, whether or not people agree with this, or whether people even find that an interesting answer, yikes, I don't want to get into that. But their thing is, since Rey is the face of the movie franchise, they felt like the opposite gender should be the face of the video game franchise to kind of have a little bit of in column A and then a little bit in column B.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me, I've always been in the camp of do whichever. Female, male, black, white, Indian, as long as it seems genuine and you just really wanted this character to have that background, I'm cool with it. Just don't shoehorn that shit into my shit. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So, if he seems like it's cool and it's male and it's not man-spreading, good. Cal Kestis will work. So, we'll see. Respawn's cool, but I don't know how I feel about Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not 100% sold yet.
I mean, I still see that EA logo slapped on there, so
exactly. So it's like Respawn's cool. EA has killed off Visceral. It looks like they're well on their way to killing off BioWare. So
sadly,
Respawn being on the fucking shit. What the fuck is it raining outside my door? Oh no!
It randomly rained in my side of town earlier.
I know it's weird.
It's inside raining.
And so with that being the case, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. You're right. Just because Respawn is working on it does not guarantee it's going to be a good game yet. And at most, it looks fine mechanically, but it doesn't. Is it going to get its grubby hands on it in microtransaction?
Yeah,
No.
we'll see what kind of surprise mechanics they're going to have in store for us.
Yeah. Good old fucking my lord, fuck you. Anyways, yeah. Persona 5, The Stage, which is going to be a stage play coming out in Japan for Persona 5, is a thing. So that should be interesting. I know that they do a lot of Persona shit in Japan, like concerts. They do that for a lot of video game shit, actually. And then stage plays. Is there like tokusatsu stage plays too, I believe? Like
they do a lot of stage stuff. They've done like I think they did a Bleach one time.
Yeah, so they just be in there on that stage.
Yeah, there was one for they did Revolutionary Girl Utena. They had one of that.
That's pretty cool. I know over there that's considered one of the legendary ones, or even here that's considered one of the legendary ones.
Yeah, I love that anime.
So that's really cool. But yeah, they're doing the Persona 5 one. I mean, hell, why not? Fuck it, I'll take it. That seems pretty cool. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be kind of corny, but like in a good way. We'll be like, oh, but that's the thing from Persona, Joker. That's the Smash guy.
I think they even had an Air Gear one. So there's like people skating on stage and dancing and singing.
Yes, that was actually a thing. I always wanted to see how dumb that looked in person. I really like. It must have been cool, but also stupid at the same time. Like, I'm sure that was great. That had to have been awesome.
Yeah.
Now they need an additional D stage play. No, I'm just joking. There's just little cardboard cars like drifting on. So dumb. Speaking of dumb, how does everyone feel about USPS, everybody? We've all had amazing experiences. None of us had any zero issues with USPS being lazy, incompetent fucks.
Did you miss a shipment?
Not me! Somebody here in the States who clearly has a lot of extra money in the bank recently bought a $60,000 Pokemon card, which was lost in the mail by USPS. Yes, for those who didn't catch it, that's 60,000.
I hope they had tracking on that.
Right.
It would be lazy of the seller to do that.
The seller did have tracking on it. USPS marked as delivered, so now it's up in the air. It's unfortunately way beyond the claimed insurance amount.
Yeah.
So if USPS will finally buckle down and cover it, it's only going to be a few $1,000s that they're going to cover.
Oh, no.
The seller feels that they're not being scammed by this guy, so because of that, they're paying $1,000 out of their pocket to kind of pad the damage. But even then, I believe the recovery total will be like $4,000 if it all goes perfect.
Jeez.
So that person is out $56,000 on a Pokemon card.
Damn.
I was curious about the Pokemon card. It was
which one was it?
Pokemon card called Trainer Number 3, which was only given out it was a third place card given out to the person who placed third in the 1999 Pokemon card tournament.
Yeah, those cards get expensive, dude.
It's like that actual 24 karat gold Pikachu card that people were spending $10,000 on to get. So,
yeah.
Something I've always wondered, the people that do this shit, like, I remember watching this one Twitch streamer, and she had one of her audience members that donated $1,000 to $3,000 a week to her.
Oh, wow.
Jeebus.
What the fuck does that guy do for a living?
Yeah, like, how do I get that?
Like, is he just a fucking doctor, a millionaire that just loves Twitch? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, so for this person who dropped $60,000, makes you wonder, right? Like if you can spend that much on one card,
yeah,
like, god damn, you've got to have bank. If that's your Pokemon card, individual, like, you know, we've all been in TCGs where we go, oh, this Charizard is like $120. Fuck it, I'm going for it. $120, you know, whatever. That's $120. It's still a lot for a card. But $60,000, just think about all this shit you can do with $60,000, and it's just like,
I'm not sure I'd spend it on a Pokemon card though.
Yeah, this guy really loved the Pokemon apparently.
Yeah, some of those cards get hella expensive.
Yeah.
I think I'd be be so upset. Like, I don't even think I'd know what to do with myself at that point.
Yeah. You're at a loss for words at that point. Because if we're reacting the way we are from outside looking in, you can only imagine how it feels to be in that box.
Yeah.
God,
maybe he just wasn't destined to have that card. Not to catch them all this time.
Not to catch them all. How to fucking catch these hands for USPS. So we'll hope that he go fucking postal. We talked about Cuphead earlier. There, of course, have been confirmed to be getting a Netflix show. Again, my opinion of Netflix. They don't want to hear that. My opinion of Cuphead is fuck that game. Looks gorgeous. Right. For me, my whole thing with Cuphead is I feel like, you know, you always have the Dark Souls of everything now, right?
Yeah.
Dark Souls and Bloodborne can get very difficult.
Yeah.
I'm not good at them, but I feel so satisfied, unlike Sekiro, when I get to a certain part where I'm just like, this was probably not worth the effort, but I made it like through the first boss, and I feel so accomplished and good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that in Cuphead. In Cuphead, I got through like the first couple of bosses, and I said, fuck this game. It's difficult for no reason. They should just die. Not the developers, just a fictional person.
I'm the opposite, because I'm like, I love Cuphead. Yeah. Even though I suck at it, and I like literally think about like quitting gaming forever. I'm just like, I gotta play it. Like, it's just...
Yeah, and I feel like your reaction was more common than mine. But I didn't mine was a diminishing return thing, where I was just like, I was not getting any satisfaction out of suffering. Unlike when from soft games, I do suffer a lot, but I at least get proud of myself and pat myself on the back when I beat in a boss that was really easy for, like Josh, for example, is like, you know, veteran of those games, like beats those bosses easily. I may not, but I at least struggled and then felt good about it afterwards. Whereas with Cuphead, I felt no satisfaction even after beating a boss or two.
You still feel dirty and violated afterwards.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? Much experience with Cuphead? Did you stay away from that boat?
I haven't had a chance to play it. I do want to check it out, but I've watched more streams than I've played it, and it's still not. I don't know. I don't feel any rush to play it. I honestly feel it's probably going to be a thing where I get more enjoyment out of watching it than playing it, because it looks like a beautiful game. I love the style of it and the fact that everything's hand drawn, but I've never been good at platformer games, so yeah. Well,
if we ever do, Josh, we need to set aside a day, because what I want to do is I do want to go to Buc-ee's with you. That would be dope, because I do miss doing that. Aside that, we also the reason I want to live stream Cuphead with you is not to get gamer rage views or any of that shit. It's because of your love to do games where you actually need to get good, whether it's learning fighting games or whether it's getting good at FromSoft games, you've always been the type to really enjoy the challenge of learning a system and getting good at it, right? I'd be very curious on your critique of if Cuphead is unnecessary difficult or a fun challenge that I just suck at. So one of these days, I definitely want to sit down with you and do that because I think that would be fun to do.
Yeah, that might be entertaining.
Yeah, but we'll see one day. I'm curious because you do like difficult games, so I would like to see that. Me, I like a challenge enough, and I'm just like, I do have a threshold where I'm just like, this is not fun anymore past X amount. So there's that. Speaking of illegal interactions and jailbait, we have a Smash player prematurely retiring because he admitted to, when he was 28, having a relationship with a 16-year-old. So the player's name was Ali, I believe. I didn't want to cite his real name because he probably doesn't need any more bad press or shade than he already gets. But he recently did announce his retirement because it came out that did happen. You have people, of course, being the devil's advocate where they're just like, what does that have to do with playing Smash? It
has to do with him not getting a sponsorship.
Yeah, it has to do with that for sure, especially if you're going to be pro. And another thing that it does have to do, and this is where I go, because I had to tell this. One of the things John is very toxic on Twitter, and I would always tell him, if you're going to be a part of this, you really have to be careful because brand is very important for a franchise. And the way I see it is, he is his Smash Brothers brand of player. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, even though this is a quote-unquote thing from the past, like you said yourself, it ruins the ability for sponsorships, so that pretty much destroys your brand, in my opinion. And when your brand's destroyed, and I'm sure he agrees, clearly he does because he retired, I think it is important, and I think it is relevant, because it's still something you did as an individual that destroyed your thing.
Well, that's why you got to be careful with what you do and how you are, especially when you have so many eyes on you.
Yeah,
like
you're a personality or presence now.
Yeah,
you're an influencer, whether you like it or not. So, other than having to add body wash to their shopping list, Smash players also need to be careful of this. So, if you do enjoy your Smash, be careful who you smash. And that is the PSA that you, if anything, you need to take that away from this podcast. All right, so this better not be the halfway point, because this would be a 4-hour episode if it is. But before we continue further, let's shill it on out. Mr. Josh, where can our lovely audience find you on the internet to check out your stuff?
I'm trying to remember my channel URL. Yeah, I think it's youtube.com/ShiroPlay5.
Yes, that's the one I believe it is.
Yes, because apparently it was taken with an S. So
thanks, other Shiro Plays, whose channel probably is inactive and has 0 subs.
I wonder if I could actually check it
right now. I'll check this out right now.
Look it up right now.
Because if I can file the claim on this, I am.
Yeah. What? This person's name is Arthur Solari with 0 subscribers.
I was right on the last part.
Yeah.
And he's probably inactive.
I don't even see any videos from this person.
Oh, I called it. Yep. I hate it when that happens. It's really annoying. And then on Twitch, is it the same thing?
So on Twitch right now, it's twitch.tv/Shiro887. I've been thinking about changing it, but I think it resets your follower count, if I'm not mistaken.
Updated. But you can only do it once every 6 months.
Yeah, I've been thinking of changing it just to make it a bit more uniform.
Yeah. Thankfully now, as I started this branding thing with Slim Asian Entertainment and then my subsidiaries like Disconnected, it's made it really easy to try to keep stuff under a flag of like, my URL is always DD Rocker. Mm-hmm. But it could be this, or that, and then use URL redirects to kind of, as a whole thing. But I did start to realize how important that is, so I think that'd be a good idea. But yeah, but for now though, you guys can follow him there. Do you want to plug your social medias, or would you rather they just go to those things?
Well,
I said, do you want to plug your Twitters and Instagrams, or would you rather they just follow your?
I mean, that's fine. I like on my YouTube channel, I have a banner which has
all the
URLs
stuff
for everything. Yeah. I mean, I am on Twitter. It's my tag is Shiro Joestar. I just warn I'm incredibly political on there.
Yeah, so if you guys might disagree with his politics, do not go on there.
Yeah.
Gotta fight for his right to say that.
Yeah.
So there's that. So we're going to do this every week. Josh will probably just drop the Twitch and YouTube thing to simplify in the future. But for episode 1, now you know where to find him. Ms. Mallory, anything you want to plug?
Not yet, because I am working on all of that right now.
Yep, she's still up and coming. Not yet.
So this is the very first time that you guys have ever heard of me.
Look at that.
So
exclusive.
Way to go. But it's usually up in the next week. So I'll just plug next time, I guess.
There you go. We'll plug next time. Okay, so anyways, that means it's my turn to plug. No, I'm joking. That actually had nothing to do with anything. You can find me. Just go to slimasianentertainment.com. That takes you where you need to go. Go to disconnectedcast.com for past, future, and even this episode, which is future now, but present when you guys hear this. So there's that. And also possibly past if you did the thing. So you can find it out there at CD Rocker, everywhere else. Let's move on with the news. Dr. Mario Mobile is exactly what you expect from a mobile game. It's a shittier version of the original thing with microtransactions. That's the news story of Dr. Mario Mobile. I originally accidentally wrote Dr. Mobile, and I don't know why I did that, because I probably wasn't paying attention. But that was a quick story anyways, so there's that. GameStop, the bankrupt company GameStop, has recently expressed the greatest of joys with the announcement of PS5 and Xbox Project Scarlet, both still retaining the disk drive. Apparently, that's the thing they've been sweating on the most before the announcement of next gen, is because we are kind of moving towards an all-digital future, especially with Google Stadia, which is going to fail in about a year. We're moving towards that. And with that being the case, they were like, please don't be all digital, please don't be all digital. We can't resell all digital. That isn't a thing. That isn't a thing. And then, of course, there is still going to be physical discs next gen, at least at the beginning. So GameStop is super happy with that. Fuck you, GameStop. You should die already. They're like a cockroach, bro. They've filed for bankruptcy 3 times in the last 10 years, and I don't know how you're able to do that. But that's a thing. I don't know.
I'm ready for them to be done.
Josh isn't crazy about GameStop either.
Yeah, I'm ready for them to be done.
I mean, I still buy from them, but it's whatever. Really, the only thing I do is because I still usually tend to primarily buy physical copies of games.
Josh is a relic. He's one of the few that still does that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shoot, man. When they pull games from the servers,
Yeah, that's another thing. We're not going to get into that again because this has almost been Disconnected Cast, the greatest hits. But we did talk about that before, the problem with an all-digital feature, stuff like that, because look at Telltale Games. You can't buy that shit anymore unless you get it from Xbox, where they sell it for $100 an episode now.
Well, I told you before, that Godzilla game.
Yeah, the Godzilla game. You can't do PT. There's a lot of problems. You're right. There's a lot of advantages to still doing physical, so it shows you that convenience isn't always a good thing.
Yeah.
So, the price of convenience can be heavy sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It's digital stuff, but if they do pull it, I'm fucked, like you said.
Yeah, that's kind of why I do that. I also kind of subconsciously think that's also why I've kind of been leaning towards, TCGs lately. So
right.
It's like, I have these cards, and I get to keep these cards so long as they don't get water damaged or stolen.
And Elder Scrolls Legends, who declined my sponsorship deal. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be a digital TCG. Unless you guys want to sponsor us, I will totally say that digital TCGs are the future. We'll do that. But until then, no. Josh is right. Physical TCGs are the way to go. Because, unless you break into Josh's house and take them. Wizards of the Coast sends agents to steal your cards. That card's a skin to you, Josh. Give it to us.
No.
We're Wizards of the Coast agent.
No.
But, yeah.
Please don't take my $80 Fantastical Dragon Mystical Phantasme, whatever it's called.
It's called your Pot of Greed.
Just not that card. Any other card is up for grabs. Just not that card.
Just not that one.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the most expensive cards I own right now, actually.
Shit. A good one, though. I'm sure. I have no idea, but I mean, it's $80, so it must be a good one.
Right.
I gauged the value of cards based on their actual monetary value, so I'm assuming it's a good card.
Yeah.
That's a safe assumption, I think. So do we need another MMO? Like with everything that's going on right now, like in the world of Destinies and everything? I would say
really.
no, not really.
Not
right?
yet.
No, okay, so we're all in agreement on that. Brand new Lord of the Ring MMO has been announced. They tried an MMO already. It was from the people who did Dungeons and Dragons, which I have just simply played the Dungeons and Dragons one for a while. Anyways, they're launching a new one. It's from... Now, the thing that makes that interesting and actual news instead of something that's going to be dead right away is that the team working on it are ex-members from both the WoW and Destiny studios.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
They at least somewhat know how to put a game together. One side knows how to keep a game interesting for more than 6 months. The other one is Destiny. So, I'm curious to see, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. I mean, I like Lord of the Rings, but I just don't have time to get into MMOs anymore. I really wanted to get back into D&D Online. I failed out of college because of D&D Online. And I have fond memories of it. So I would like another cool MMO to get into. Like, I've God damn it, 14 is so cool, but I'm just too far behind now.
Yeah. I've been like wanting to get back into 14, but I just don't really have as much time to do so.
So fucking cool. But yeah, I just wouldn't have time.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, obviously 11. Final Fantasy 11 was a lot of your life too.
Oh god, yeah.
D&D was my version, so there's that. Mallory, did you ever heavily get into any MMOs for like years of your life that consumed your life?
No, not really.
You're a human.
You stayed untainted.
I did, but then Diablo took over my life.
That's pretty good too.
I mean, it's not exactly an MMO, but I mean, I also remember not doing like anything for like a year because I was stuck on that, and I still own it for every single console I have.
Good. They have that.
But Amazon is developing the Lord of the Rings game. It's co-developing.
They're co-developing. Yeah, Amazon bought out a game studio, killed it, and then absorbed the members.
Wait, Amazon's they're publishing it, or they're the developer?
They're co-developing.
They're co-developing. They're developing.
Man. Oh. Instead of the Eye of Sauron, it's just going to be Jeff Bezos.
Oh god, that'd be great. His penis showing. Now, the thing that I would say that I would be more excited is if they would be like, all right, guys, to stay true to the Amazon name, we're developing and launching games in 2 days. With Amazon Prime, you get everything in 2 days, including our AAA titles. We're crunching to fuck and beyond to get you AAA titles in 2 days.
I'm already seeing that, like, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you probably will get like monthly perks with it or something like that.
You know that's going to be a thing.
Get a special mount every month that you're a Prime member.
Yeah, it has the Prime logo on its ass. Primeless.
You have the one ring, but you can only use the powers if you're a Prime subscriber.
Dude, you know what else would be great about that? Continuing with
Gollum's just chilling in his cave with his 2-day shipping.
God. Jesus Christ. But yeah, what's going to be really cool will be if basically on those lines is if they have a travel system, and if you do have Prime, you're faster.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh my God. So many good
people from the
movies
good Prime
memes
you get. What we were just talking about earlier with the Adventures game. You get the B-rated ones if you don't have Prime.
God. That's awesome.
The Nazgul are just going to be riding the forest with their fucking Amazon packages.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. There's so much stuff where, like, it'd be awful as in the actual game, but, like, to mod it in or do a parody version would actually make it the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Now, if they could actually make a good game and then go all in on the jokes at the same time, that would, oh my God. That would be the best. But yeah, No Man's Sky's developer, they've been giving a lot of words of wisdom lately, primarily because, like I mentioned earlier, people took their model and ran with it in the wrong direction. No Man's Sky admittedly fucked up in the beginning and fixed it, but then everyone else was like, oh, look what they did. They did a cool thing. And they were like, no, it wasn't cool, though. They talked about it, and one thing that they mentioned, Randy Pitchford could listen to this one, one thing that they mentioned is that sometimes silence is the best route to take while you fix a game.
Yeah.
And I agree. Rather than make a bunch of excuses like what Randy Pitcher is doing for Borderlands 3, where the game hasn't even come out yet and he's already making excuses for stuff that might go wrong with it, how about you don't? Like, just listen to the criticisms, listen to what the audience wants, take a breath, adjust it, then try again.
Well, I think if you respond to too much of that, then you're just like,
we're
not going to know what.
Yeah,
but
take it with like a look at the majority.
If you've already owned it and you're like, hey, we know this is going on, and then you're just silent, like that's a way better route than just being like, kind of like ignoring it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
like if anything, make an apology statement. That's it.
And then move on, and we can deal with not hearing about it for a while, and then when it comes out, let us know.
Yeah,
seems like a way better thing than making excuses like, oh no, it's only 2 more weeks because our system crashed or something. Like, I don't need to know this, or the blue color isn't the right shade. Like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like the more excuses you
there is a line,
the more you just don't give a shit about the game anymore.
Right.
Give a crap.
Otherwise, you're just gonna keep putting your foot in your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that'll look fantastic.
Oh, it's so good. Foot in mouth, the game. The Randy Pitchford experience.
The Randy Pitchford experience. Man.
But yeah.
Based on actual events.
I know, right? Skipping on along to Pokemon. Now, Pokemon has been a mixed bag of reactions. The more they announce things, the more people have their things. So, one of the major things that they announced, we talked about before, was not all the Pokemon are going to be in it. I mean, I consider myself a big but casual fan. I get it, like, so-and-so's not going to be on my team, they're usually on my team. Like, I see it from that perspective, but I also didn't expect them to put in, almost 900 Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't, ever expect that to be a thing. So, I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think it ruins... I'm still going to play it, and I'm not, really holding it against it entirely. I understand the reasoning.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any interest in the upcoming Sword and Shield games?
Josh? I don't know, it's just weird that they're now introducing set rotation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's all like, oh no, these Pokemon will not be in the meta or meta relevant because they won't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of see the argument for it. I mean, if we're gonna go into like a specification kind of thing, like it's just not gonna be able to, the Switch just doesn't have the hardware. Fine. I haven't really been following up too much, so I don't know if that's what they said the reason was. If it's more of a balancing reason, maybe, because, a lot of Pokemon games, usually some Pokemon don't really change that much in tiers. Like, Flareon has pretty much always been considered the worst evolution.
Right, easily.
Yeah, so I if they're going with that route, yeah, I could probably understand.
Well, the good thing is I have an answer for you, actually.
Oh, joy.
The director did want to address it, so he mentioned that the reasoning is they're too much work to animate everyone.
Okay, no, fair enough.
I agree that for the point, if all the animations in the modern Pokemon games weren't even that elaborate.
Yeah, they usually just kind of waddle.
Yeah, if it was like a full-on, it turns into the anime and or even Pokemon Stadium stuff, I'd be like, yeah, doing that for 800-something Pokemon, fuck, shit.
Female Pokemons are too hard to render.
Yeah, but like you said, they basically just waddle a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, they said it's a mix of the animation and then just too many models to make. But I don't fucking know. So come on, you fuck asses. But anyways, like I said, I kind of understand at the same time. It does sound like a lot of work, so it's whatever. But another interesting thing about the whole thing is the whole Gigantamaxing the Pokemon. I understand they have to keep it fresh, double battles, remove double battles, bring back double battles, triple battles, and whatever they do now. They always have to add something to keep it fresh. Fun fact about them, though, is that the character, they don't actually just grow. There is a specific, for the ones that can Gigantamax, there's actually 2 character models of each Pokemon that can do that, the other one being a big version. The clouds are actually a part of the Pokemon's model.
Oh, wow.
Because they didn't render any actual real clouds that would play friendly with big Pokemon and not just clip through their forehead really bad looking. So instead, all the floating clouds around him and stuff are actually part of that model. So if you were to rip that model from the game, the clouds are stuck to it.
That's
so weird.
So that's a weird thing. I don't know. I mean,
I don't
see. Pokemon has introduced so many new things that never make it past one game.
Yeah.
That I'm not holding my breath on this. I think Gigantamaxing is just the next thing that's going to not be in the next game.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, you thought Poffins were fun? That's cool. Hope you enjoyed it that one time.
Yeah. Man, you remember when we were all at Ahmed's house and we fucking did the underground hideout?
Yeah.
That was so good. That shit was great. Fucking hell.
All of us with our DSs just making Poffins with each other.
Oh my god. So many good times. Back before we had actual responsibilities and before the games removed that.
Yeah. I will say, I don't know how I feel about there being game exclusive gym leaders.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That.
Because it kind of bites, because, like, I saw that, I think I saw Tyranitar is only going to be in I think it was the Sword version? I might be wrong. But then, like, the one trainer that looks cool and looks like, badass waifu, I think she's going to be, like, in the other one, so I was like, I gotta make a choice.
I feel like that's almost, it's not as bad as Fortnite, but that's almost their way to force you to buy that double pack.
Yeah.
They're like, you want to experience both?
You gotta get both of them.
Yeah. Half of me is like, oh, finally, a reason to buy both other than just a few different Pokemon. I can actually get a different experience playing it again.
Yeah.
But, not completely, but slightly. But then the other half of me is like, fuck you guys. You guys are just doing this to get them to buy both. Almost is working. It might work. It might work for some people.
Oh, yeah. It even says here, Pokemon Sword and Shield Dual Pack will come with Larvitar and Jangmo Dynamax. Crystal codes.
Crystal codes?
That's what it says, crystal codes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah. Mallory, are you excited for the Pokemons?
I am. I've played almost every Pokemon game that's ever come out.
Nice.
I am kind of upset about the whole splitting of the gyms. Just because I'm more into the Alistar looking character. Alistar. And of course it's not going to be the one I buy because I'm buying the Sword. My sister's buying Shield. So she's going to have Alistar.
Hey, you're like, God damn.
Yeah. But, I mean, when we played Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu,
God, that was a fun game.
We had that one thing where you could only get that one certain Pokemon in that one gym. So, I mean, I've seen it before. I'm kind of upset that, they're doing it again.
Yeah.
But I know why they're doing it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, it makes sense, but fucking sucks at the same time.
Yeah, like, I will never get that one Pokemon my sister's going to get from it, and she's never going to get the one I get from it.
Right.
And it's not like you can just do the Ditto glitch.
Yeah.
Like, if that was the story, I'd be totally down.
Right.
I don't know if I'll fall into one of those people buying the double pack. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like...
And you're like, maybe. Looks cool. There's a steelbook.
But, I mean, we're already basically
a
double pack. So my nephew can have the game, and his sister can have the game, and I'm not sure yet. But I am upset that I'm not going to get to play Alistar, because he looks like I guess it's a he.
Mm-hmm.
Alistar.
Yeah, I think it is,
a badass character in that game looking.
Nice.
But I'm pretty sure Bay can kick anybody's ass, so, I mean, it'll be fun.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, we just get at this point, you just hope that the game at least will overall be a good game. Which I do.
Yeah, I just definitely find it a strange decision, because, if you have exclusive Pokemon for one version, I mean, that does, reinforce the whole, trade with your friends or whatever, but, when it's like the actual characters, that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah. Because the idea behind the old games, like you were saying, is that you guys had the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The overall experience was the same, minus your few choices of getting fucking Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee or whatever.
Yeah.
But the Pokemons were different. But yeah, like you said, in this one, it's always changing a bit. In fact, depending on how heavily you like those characters or maybe how tied into the narrative they are, maybe they actually could be different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You might be like, oh wow, that other one sounded a lot cooler than what happens in my game. In my game, you just eat shit and die. Like, that's just weird. But
that
we'll
doesn't
see.
sound fun at all.
I know, right? All right, entering our final topic, we have, well, before I say it, actually, if you want to participate in the conversation, you want to hit us up, or you just want to send me a friendly email, you can hit us up at disconnectthecastmail@gmail.com. Once again, that's disconnectthecastmail@gmail.com, and you can talk about the final topic of our podcast, which is going to be EA is tired of being called the bad guy.
So, maybe they should do something about that.
Yeah, so they finally, one of the fucking Andrew, a.k.a. Android Wilson, because he's such a disconnected fuck, recently I was talking about how he's just sick of hearing all the negativity and the slander of people saying that EA is shit and that their methods are shady, because they've already explained all this stuff. They already had what's-her-face Kirby in court in the UK, because overseas, especially in the Europe lands, in a lot of countries, loot boxes are hella banned because they are considered child gambling, which is illegal in those countries. Well, it's legal here, but they just don't call it child gambling. Their whole thing, I mean, it's to the point where some stuff is really different. So in Apex Legends, instead of loot boxes like they have here, they have a little crafting system, so you collect parts and then eventually craft cool stuff in Apex Legends. But anyways, going back to the point, they defended loot boxes. They were called to court. So basically, they were told by the commission, the gaming commission over there, look, take this loot box bullshit out of the European versions of the game, or we're going to see you guys in court. They said that to the Fortnite peoples and Epic Games and EA with FIFA and literally every game they make. EA was like, no. We're going to go to court because we can totally explain this and it'll be good. And you guys are going to be like, wow, I can't believe we tried to remove child gambling from the game. So they went to court, and one of, I believe he was an Irishman on the panel, was just like, all right, so you're here today to defend loot boxes because, and she goes, excuse me, and he was like, yes, and then she was just like, we don't like to call them loot boxes, and he just goes, okay, well, whatever you want to call them, and then he goes, regardless, you're here because they're super illegal, and you're trying to say that they should be legal. What's your argument? And she goes, all right, first of all, idiot, we don't like to call them loot boxes, okay? Loot boxes, that is bad. We agree at EA that loot boxes are bad. These aren't loot boxes. They're surprise. Oh, what the fuck did you say? Surprise mechanics. Yeah. She goes, they're surprise mechanics. And she goes, and she just digs her hole deeper and deeper, lying through her teeth in like the first 5 minutes. And she goes, I mean, it's no different than a Kinder Surprise egg or LOL Surprise or a little toy that you get that you buy at the Toys R Us. I mean,
well,
when you go to the store, right, and you buy a little box and it has one of 10 figures in it, is that gambling? No, it's not. And the guy was basically like, yeah, well, I mean, that's not a loot box either, but I mean, I don't understand this. So she just made a really shitty thing. So there's that. They advocate child gambling. They try to get away where they can. They lie about certain things about caring about mental health of their employees while still forcing them to do crunch anyways, doing the gun-to-head defense of being like, well, it's optional, where the truth is they don't have to, like, devs are hired in seasons or for development cycles, so once a game's out, they don't have to keep you.
Yeah.
Guess what? All that happened to all the people who didn't do crunch, basically.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's just that's not really weird. I mean, from a corporate point of view, you always want to seem like the good guy, right? Like when THQ Nordic did the AMA on 8chan. You always want to always have good PR decisions like that. So with that being the case, if EA was a well-hearted company that made a single mistake, one could be like, okay, I see where they're coming from. Maybe it's a bit much, but it was a bad mistake. But they have grown a lot and they've evolved since then. But we're talking about EA. I don't, even as a corporate slob, being forced to defend this shit company, I don't even understand how you can fathom words or thoughts like I can't do right now to explain how that isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't don't play any EA games anymore. I refuse to support any of their stuff, even though I really, I'm a big Star Wars fan.
I like Sims.
And the Sims, but I can't allow myself to play an EA game because then I just feel like I'm giving, the bad guy, as they say.
And that's the thing. I really feel bad when people give up right away because, we won't make an impact anyways, right? Like, because I'm actively boycotting Borderlands 3. I'm going to rent a Redbox copy, review it, and then give it back. Mm-hmm. Because I'm giving Redbox, Randy Pitchford's getting like a penny out of that probably.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the game to succeed because I think that the practices behind it that the company are doing are shady. Would I like a good Borderlands 3? Will it probably be good? Yeah, probably. But I feel that if enough people who go, I agree with you, man, but I'm going to buy it anyways because, come on, dude, Borderlands. I'm like, well, then you're advocating the fucking Blood Diamond game that it is.
I mean, they do have Battlefield that everybody decides they need to buy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
I bought Battlefield and regretted it. Like, that game, it was fun for like a few hours, but such lack of content in there.
And that's what's sad. That sentence you just said, if I cropped out the part where you're talking about Battlefield, that fits so many of the AAA titles nowadays. It's fucking sad. Like, the other day I started a live stream to do Mass Effect Andromeda. And I couldn't handle it after, I didn't even get past the intro. It was so shit. And then I just played Judgment for the rest of my stream, and everyone enjoyed that. But, it's a weird topic to talk about because I'm sure we all agree, and, there's not really a true... Because none of us are going to play devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. We're not that stupid.
No.
But...
Especially when you take in companies and then you just destroy them for your own gain. I feel bad for those companies because some of them really came up on their own and, kind of trusted EA, and then EA decides to just completely obliterate them.
Yeah.
And we lose a lot of good games that way.
We do.
A lot of creative
Even though Dead Space started eating shit in the third one, the first two were fun. And then Visceral Games died because they didn't meet ridiculous numbers. Yeah, I guess what the whole point of this is, for anyone who hasn't deciphered why I brought this up first, other than the shit on EA, is that why even say this statement? Do you guys think that EA even thought an inkling of a chance that they were going to have sympathizers when they said this? It almost seems like the doth protest too much type thing.
Yeah.
Do either of you honestly think that EA did this just to make themselves feel better, or do you think that they were really like, yeah, man, we're going to rally up this little crew of defenders?
I think... Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Oh, sorry. I was really going to say is I can't think of anybody who, genuinely comes, White Knights EA.
Yeah, they don't. Whether or not so many different people from different walks of YouTube and other influencers... whether they like each other or not, whether one fan base hates the other or not, no matter how different, one of the very unified opinions in the industry that we're in is agreeing that EA is shit and their practices are shit.
Yeah, but they're in the mindset of too big to where they've been around for so long, and even in their statements, most of the time I'm like, you're lying.
Yeah,
especially what you just told us about, I thought maybe they, my thinking is that they were like, maybe we have a chance to do this, mm-hmm. But then, you're literally comparing it to children's toys.
Yeah, now you're really just trying to justify your bullshit by, being it's okay, though, it's really similar to this child's thing.
And it's
yeah. That's such a terrible analogy, too, with a Kinder Egg. Because, a Kinder Egg, you're not, one could argue you're buying the Kinder Egg for the little toy inside, but first and foremost, it's a chocolate snack.
Yeah. You're not getting shit out of the loot box when you get a duplicate skin for the 8th time.
Yeah, and it's always different too in the little toys.
Yeah, that's true.
And they constantly filter those out.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
You
really were getting a real surprise.
Yeah.
And it also didn't cost the shit.
And even if you buy out of the same box, you probably will get the same toy.
Sometimes.
But if like what we do is every week when they bring out the new boxes,
Mhm.
we'll go and do that instead of, like I said, spending $50 to get this one skin that you already have 3 copies of.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, can you trade them in on the game for like
Nope.
V-Bucks or
Fuck
anything?
that. Hell no.
Oh, okay,
You're
so
crazy.
then you're just stuck with 3 extra skins, something that's digital.
Sometimes you get a
Right.
shit amount of coins. Like Overwatch gives you like 100 or 10. Oh, they give you like 10 nothing coins
Mhm.
for a duplicate, which is fuck all because you can't buy it. Fuck, you'd have to get like 1,000,000 duplicates to even get anything decent.
And like, there's another thing too. Like, there's no secondary market that you can like get it from.
That's true.
Like you want to bring up like a TCG,
Use
for
skins.
example. You're gambling by buying booster packs. It's like, yeah. Or I could just like take my money and go to TCG Player or eBay or Troll and Toad and buy the card that I want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a choice, an actual choice, not a horseshit choice like what they like to say. It's a choice.
It's
Yeah.
more of a scam than it is really doing anything else. And
Right. And so since that EA thing was so unified and like, there wasn't really much to it because EA is just a shit company was the point of that. Doing a little bonus, talking about Epic Games, kind of being the same, like kind of doing, they're being a really like evil corporation basically. So when Epic Games got the Fortnites and they got the Fortnite bucks and the 10-cent money because they're basically half a Chinese company now, like a big conglomerate Chinese company.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing all sorts of stuff while trying to hide behind being a good company. So when Epic Games first dropped on the scene and became Steam's only real competitor, because that's the thing, is that Steam got so complacent because they've been the top dog for so long, no one really competes with them.
Mhm.
Epic Games comes around, starts doing all this crazy shit, like buying up exclusives, getting games ripped off of Steam, like Rocket League and stuff like that. But at first their thing was, and I still think this is the biggest bluff ever, because I think it's one of those things where you know the outcome and answer, so you can say whatever you want because you'll be fine. But the first thing that they said was, look, guys, no. We're not trying to be dicks. We're not trying to kill Steam. Because what they do is they give their developers a bigger cut.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They give them like a 20 or 30% cut or rather, they take less of a cut than what Steam does.
Mhm.
Steam takes like 20% or 20 or 25% or whatever, and Epic only takes 15. So what they said is if Steam matches their revenue split, they will stop eating up all of Steam's games and buying exclusives and even give some of their Epic titles to sell on the Steam store.
Okay.
But I feel like they say that only because they know that'll never happen.
Mhm.
Because I don't think Steam can afford to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that Epic knows that, and they're kind of safe up there on their throne. Like, I mean, bro, if you come up with $1 million, I'll get the fuck off your lawn. But until then,
I mean, Steam is owned by Valve, right?
yes,
And what the fuck is Valve doing?
nothing.
Yeah, like it's
nothing.
not Team Fortress 3. It's not Half-Life
Episode
3. It's not Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, it's nothing, and that's the thing. So their only real thing is being this client and distributor.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and so Epic knows that. And I think that's why they made that false-ass promise. Now, say Steam ponies up, I'm sure Epic will come with another excuse to alter the deal further. And makes this deal keeps getting worse all the time. And we're going to have fucking Steam Carizian doing that shit now. But then Epic continues to flex their Fortnite 10-cent money, because then what they did later, and this has been the topic of controversy in the last couple of weeks, is they just straight up bought Shenmue 3.
Oh yeah, so I heard
And
that.
the thing that's fucked up about that is that, of course, like Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds, and a bunch of other exclusives, and then Rocket League, that they've all just swooped up in their money because the deal is sweet. They took Shenmue 3, and the biggest thing is the controversy of the fact that everyone that they bought their PC exclusivity to bought it specifically for a Steam key, which they were now no longer going to get until after the first year. Now, so they went through several things because obviously there was backlash when they did that. So the first thing they said was, well, deal with it. That was met with very harsh criticism because they were just like, well, fuck you. No one wanted you to come in to buy this. Fuck you. Then the next one was, all right, guys, look, it's just a year exclusive. Come on, guys. It's not like it's a forever.
Wait.
play it a year after it comes out on Steam. That still was met with harsh criticism. So Epic finally backed down, and it was just like, because they can big dick it, because they're fucking have that money, they went, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay not Deep Silver, not Is Entertainment, not anyone that worked at Shenmue, not anyone, not Sony, because they also backed it. We're going to pay for anyone who wants a refund, we're paying it right out of our fat Epic Games wallet. That's not a real solution. All that is I fucked you over, and here's me showing I can really afford it, because how much money I'm going to make off Shenmue, because people are just going to cave or whatever, is going to be so much more than I'm going to refund. So I'll front it. Fuck it. And so that's their solution. That's what they're going to do. They will be offering refunds to anyone who wants one and doesn't want to wait a year or whatever. But guess what? A lot of people are still going to wait a year, or some people are just going to say, fuck it, get it on Epic. That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah.
For sure. I was going to say, I need to link you another video.
Cause, hey, buddy, I like to watch those. So
yeah, there's this video. I don't know if you've heard of them. Peter Coffin. He did a video about when there was that controversy when Borderlands 3 was announced that it was going to be Epic exclusive. And it was this thing like, yeah, so, PC gamers, they're just so used to Steam being the go-to client that now there's a competitor and, our current economical market of capitalism is all about competition. And once there's competition, nobody likes it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And then of course Steam trying to be like, think of our users who are missing out on this. It's like, people will get Epic and they'll do it. But it's that's I personally don't like having to open up Origin to access a game, opening up Steam to get into another game, opening up like BNet, BattleNet to play something, It would be nice to have everything just uniform, or hell, just go to GOG and buy there.
Absolutely. Which GOG Galaxy, their client, is at least cool because it does play well with Steam and everything else. So, and here's the thing I was going to say. Wooly made a really good point, because Wooly was asked recently what he thinks about all this, because he's usually not overly vocal about stuff like that aside reporting the news. And he made a very fair point. He said that Epic's goal, as false noble as it is, would have sounded more convincing if the Epic Store was at least complete. There's no shopping cart. For a while, there was no proper client or launcher. It was all just some really bad DOS launch thing, basically. And it was completely, not even half-baked, completely raw in the oven. They just launched this to start making the bucks, like now. It got to the point where people were getting... to buy, they had that big sale where everything was up to 75% off. Controversy there was they didn't ask... The developer's supposed to agree on a price that they can sell it at, because they still didn't make money. They started just being like, well, we're Epic, fuck it. And they just started discounting and doing all these crazy sales off the games without consulting the developers, including games that haven't been released yet, which affects metrics in terms of how much money the game made at launch, which is very important. So all these things are so bad. And again, it didn't even have a proper shopping cart. Now, what problem is just stop being lazy. Who buys more than one game at a time? Well, during a big sale, best fucking believe you buy a ton of games at the same time. Yeah. Well, here's what this problem that this caused. It even happened to Pat from Castle Super Beast. You have to buy a game, check out, done. Buy a game, check out. It started flagging every customer for fraudulent purchases because there were too many transactions happening at the same fucking time. Oh, god damn it. What an amazing thing. So again, I agree with Wooly's sentiment that the thing that makes it sounds noble on paper, but all this horseshit, all this stuff I just talked about right now, makes you really, really realize that the mask that they're wearing is so tiny, and you see that evil motherfucker right behind them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They really do just want to be last man standing. That's all that really is.
I mean, I understand they want to compete with Steam, but at the same time, you're not competing with Steam, you're just trying to devour something.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of PC gamers out there who do use Steam.
And love it.
And yeah, I just updated mine today, because I haven't been able to play Steam in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But, the way Epic Game is going about it is just
they're playing dirty.
It's shady.
It's like if a millionaire goes up to you and goes, "Let's play a contest. Let's see who can throw the most ones out of the back of this car." Once your bank account's empty, you lose.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's basically what they're doing with them. It's fucked up, but we'll see. I mean, Steam also deserves criticism as well for not doing anything in forever, and then because they became complacent and realized, we can just make money from doing nothing, and then B, not fighting back. That's where a lot of the industry critics got really upset, and the whole thing is like, fuck Epic, but Valve, put up your fucking dukes. They have not done anything to fight back. In fact, Microsoft has done more for them. Microsoft recently spoke up on behalf of the, Steam's just lying there like a Snorlax getting constantly punched. And Epic was going at it, and they're not really fighting back. What Microsoft did to take a stand was that Microsoft announced that as they're trying to get more of their games to cross-platform on a format that someone actually plays, like PC, that they would be launching and sharing those titles with Steam over Epic. So even Microsoft trying to be the good guy, going up and being like, look, come on, dude, you're just getting punched here. We'll throw you a few titles. You want your Forzas and your Halos, you can have them too on Steam. So
at least they're beneficial. A helping hand, but I think Steam needs to hurry up and do something.
They need to do something, even if it is dropping Half-Life 3. Anyways, no. But they need to do something, and quick, because it really does look really sad when this other company's slapping you around and you're just taking it, because it just looks not great.
Or they could be, looking at exactly how it's going, and they're just taking time to respond, even though usually you wouldn't take this much time to respond.
Right. Josh?
I was going to say, what was the last thing they did? Like, flop on the Steam box or something like that? If those even came out?
I think the last one, wasn't it Poker at the Industry?
Maybe. Well, wait, yeah, that game. But they were making the Steam boxes, right? The consoles.
Oh, the consoles. Yeah.
Those then they flop hard.
I mean, they came out, but
those are going to be in between proper consoles and lasting a bit longer than Stadia. That's where we're at right now. But yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that. They made those weird controllers, which had not analogs. They had touchpad and analog sticks.
Yeah, I heard those weren't that great when they came out either.
Because when you play a game, especially one that needs precision, imagine not being able to feel those sticks and just hoping you're rubbing the flat surface well enough.
Yeah, I'm just glad Windows 10 supports the DualShock 4.
Hell yeah.
I just plug in my PS4 controller or my arcade stick, and most of the time I'm good to go.
Most of the time, yeah, good thing for that. But yeah, you're right, Steambox, fuck. Maybe that's why they're so quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might actually be. All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys for joining me. We're going to talk it out after this, but if you guys did enjoy that, you guys are the brand new host of Disconnected Cast.
Sweet.
So we will be doing that. We'll talk about the logistics of it and everything, and if you guys do offer, so I'll make the announcement whenever I put this up. But, all right, then. All right, guys. So you guys heard that. Get back on the other side of the curtain. You guys only got to hear a little bit of that. Well, all right, then. Until next week, we will see you guys every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And until the next episode, we will catch you guys later. Until then, see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.